Hello, everyone. Welcome to. Oh God, I defaulted to our old game. Welcome to Pathfinder Beginner's Box. We don't have a name for this. Damn, someone come up with a name real quick. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, but this stream is going to be a collection of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons veterans that all have quite a bit of games under our belt, and we are going to delve into the overwhelming world of Pathfinder, I guess, is the way I would describe it. So I am DM Steve. Welcome to my stream. I have 4 of my friends with me. Some of them you may recognize from our Beyond Avernus stream. Some of them you may not. So let's start with. I'm just going to go across the list as I see the names on Roll20. So Jordan, why don't you say hi to everyone?
Hi, everybody. I was totally not stuffing apple walnut cake into my mouth.
Oh God, I should have called somebody
else. Yeah, I've been playing D&D for a while now. I used to always say that I was a noob, but I think I officially can't call myself that anymore. But I've been listening to Pathfinder, a podcast where people play Pathfinder, and that has always gotten me interested in the system. So I'm excited to play, and I'll be playing Cairo, the human warden cleric of Sarenrae.
Is that any relation to Kylo Ren? Are you Kylo Ren?
I'm his father.
Oh, you're Han Solo.
Sure.
Spoilers! All right.
For a movie that came out 5 years ago.
Still, somebody out there is going to be mad. All right, next down the line, we have Rick. Rick, why don't you say hi?
Tell us. Hey, everybody. My name is Rick, also known as Hallowed, and I'll be playing Hal Reciel, the Elven Rogue. Super excited.
You could have played Hal Rician, and we could have gone with the Star Wars motif.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. You're right. I should have.
We should have coordinated better. Yeah, tell them about your. You got a stream too. You do a lot of D&D. Right?
Yeah, we stream on the Hallowed Hunt D&D channel on Twitch and YouTube, and it's just Hallowed on Twitter. I also play with Jordan on Friday nights and Sunday nights. Have another Tuesday game with some other people, and here we are playing Pathfinder, and I'm super pumped for Pathfinder.
Do I find out you watch a lot of Pathfinder podcasts, or you're like a super Pathfinder pro, and I just didn't know?
I have no idea how this is going to go.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear. All right. Next down the list, let's go with Nina. Nina, why don't you say hi?
Hello, my name's Nina. I am new to Pathfinder. I've never played it. I'm aware of it, and my primary goal for today is to not die. I've played D&D for a while. But yeah, Pathfinder is totally new to me. I'm reading up on the quick rules as we speak.
Yep. I should have given you guys access to the quick rules, but I know some of you didn't log into Roll20 until 10 minutes before we went live, so you just really want to be surprised. Which brings
Everyone wants a challenge.
Which brings us to our last person, Brianna.
Hi, I'm Brianna. I've been playing D&D for a while, like the rest of us, and I got roped into this because Steve texted me while I was at work and asked me if I wanted to join, and I said, "Fuck it, sure."
That's how it went,
yeah. I don't know. I play the rogue in Beyond Avernus, and today I'm playing Ezrin, who is a human wizard.
Okay.
I guess if we're going with the Star Wars theme, I can rename myself to Ezra.
Ezra. See? It's all falling into place.
Great band.
I don't know about Valerie though. How can we turn Valerie into a Star Wars name? Was one of the Seven Sisters something like a name similar to Valerie?
Whose sister?
The Seven Sisters. I think that's what they were called, right? The Seventh Sister, is that her name? She was from Star Wars Rebels.
Damn, getting deep in there.
It's Star Wars Rebels. That's not that deep.
No, it's not. That's where Ezra's from.
Yeah, exactly. Oh well. There was oh man, I don't know. I feel like that name tells me it's something from Rebels, but I don't know.
There is a Val from the 2018 anthology film Solo. Val was a human criminal that worked with the outlaws during the reign of the Galactic Empire.
Oh, that works. I mean, to be completely honest, I was watching Thor before this, and then Valkyrie was there, and then yeah.
Damn. Okay.
But we will use that. It sounds more badass.
No, we're gonna go back. Everyone, come up with the Thor's reason for your name.
No.
That's better. I like it better.
So yeah. So we, we all. Oh, Coach Reed is in our chat telling us who Vargery is. Thanks for Googling that, Coach Reed. Coach Reed is my dad, by the way, who could not join us tonight, but wanted to listen in as he worked.
Hi.
Hi. Please don't threaten Arthur. This is the wrong stream for that.
Yeah. So we are playing through Beginner Box. And by the way, my name is Steve. I know very little about Pathfinder until I bought this box. I did buy the book, so there was a humble bundle over the summer. I know me and Jordan both purchased it. I was lucky enough to get my book like right away. I know you guys can't really see it on camera right now, but I'm holding up the book. It's 640 pages thick.
Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing
is one word for it. Daunting is another. And this is like equivalent to like the player's handbook. So it's basically the player's handbook, except for it's the thickness of like the monster manual and the DMG and the player's handbook all together.
Yeah, their system is so dense and so nuanced that if you like play a wizard, they sell a wizard book that you can just buy because that's how much information is in there.
It's true. There's also the supplement came out recently called the Advanced Player's Guide, which is another book this thick with more player options. And I want to say there's probably 4 more player option books at least that exist out there.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's like it went a different extreme than Dungeons and Dragons, which is Dungeons and Dragons was like, let's keep the product line minimal and 1 player option every like 2 years, right? And this system seems to say let's put one out every 3 months. Something like that.
Yeah.
It's a different take. So what we are doing is we are taking a step back and we're playing what just came out, I believe, last month, and it's called the Beginner's Box. Pathfinder Beginner's Box. So it basically takes a 640-page rulebook, slims it down to 64 pages or so, and I'm sure each one of you all read it cover to cover, so I don't have to quiz you. And the idea is it gives you like less ancestries, less classes, less feats, stuff like that, but it still allows you to get a handle of how the game works. And so in this specific game, we are using the pre-generated characters. We've changed their names and we've changed their images, but we're using the stats from the 4 pre-generated characters. So it uses the 4 classic role-playing game classes. I call them classic, but somebody pointed out to me online that like if you're talking classic, then like you got to say like I'm playing the elf, and that was your class. But traditionally, we have the rogue, the cleric, the wizard, and the fighter. And so the fun thing is, I don't think you guys know what the hell is going on with your characters. Some of you guys didn't even know what character you were playing until 5 minutes ago, correct?
That would be accurate.
Yes.
Awesome. So
to be fair, I did read up a little bit on my character's backstory.
Awesome. See, you came prepared.
He was a dude.
Well. Oh well. Like nobody's perfect, I guess. So let's I'm gonna switch over to the game screen so you guys can see our 4 player characters. So I think the first thing to do is to show you guys here in the handout section, there are some sort of handouts that'll be useful for you guys, and I've given you access to them, but I'll pop some up so you can see. So I'm gonna pop this one up. This is called the Basic Actions handout, and this is basically a list of things that your character can do. And one thing I will say that I do like with this system over like 5e is like everything that you can do is very like codified and gamified, to where D&D is like a lot of stuff is just like the DM has to figure out, like, oh, I want to drop prone. What does that mean? Or I want to like crawl while I'm prone, or like I want to do XYZ, and you know, some skills get left by the wayside. Like, how often do you guys use like animal handling in D&D? Probably not very much. But here, there's a whole list of what they call basic actions, and it kind of allows you to see like what you can do. So the thing to really know, if you don't know how Pathfinder works, is instead of 5th edition where you have action, bonus action, and move, Pathfinder 2nd edition throws all that out and just says you get 3 blanket actions per turn. What you want to spend those on is up to you. So maybe I don't need to move, so I can use my move action to do something else. So every action that you can do is marked with a specific how many actions it takes. So all of these basic actions take 1 action on your turn. And so some of the things you can see that are kind of interesting is like leap is an action. So like in 5th edition, if you can run and jump as part of your movement action, right? But here you would do movement as 1 action, and then leap would be like a 2nd action, right? So if you just need to jump and nothing else, you could just take the leap action. But if you need to take they call it the stride action. You take the stride action to move your movement speed and then leap across the gap. That would be 2 out of your 3 movements or actions, leaving you 1 more action to do something. And so like instead of like disengaging, like 5th edition has the disengaging as your action, here you have what's called the step action, right? And step action, you get to move 5 feet, and you don't trigger anything that would like happen off your movement, like opportunity attacks and such. They don't trigger on step. And so then down here in the more advanced section of the Hero's Handbook is the skills tab. And so this is more of a, instead of just like, oh, these are blanket skills that everything, even monsters can use. These are all like skills that you guys have as like characters. So there's like a big chart where it breaks down like, you know, all the skills, and it gamifies like exactly what you do. So as an instance, in 5th edition, if you want to like we're fighting something and I'm big and tough and I want to scare them, I want to make an intimidation check in the middle of combat. Well, what does that actually mean? Honestly, nobody knows. The GM has to make it up on the spot, right? Here, intimidation skill ties directly to an action you can take in combat called coerce. And if you scroll down, you can find where it is. And I think coerce is probably an out of combat one. I think, let's say, where is it? Intimidation ties to demoralize as a 1 action thing. So if I scroll down under intimidation and look at demoralize, you can see that demoralize is a concentrate mental, are the tags on the ability. It says, with a sudden shout, well-timed taunt, something, you shake the enemy's resolve. You choose any creature within 30 feet of you and attempt an intimidation check against their will save. And if you succeed, then they get the frightened condition on that monster. And the frightened condition, which there's a whole thing here which shows all the different conditions and what they mean. Frightened condition makes them worse at everything. Their AC goes down, their to hit goes down, all that goes down. So it's not like I scared you away from combat completely. It's more just like I can use my intimidating presence in combat and have a mechanical effect that's spelled out very clearly. Is it very complicated? Yes, but is it also uncomplicated in a weird way? Yeah. So I do like that. So you guys can take a look at that list of skills and basic actions. If there's any of these you guys want to attempt tonight, that is cool. Any questions on that? Does that make sense to you guys? You guys are very quiet, so I don't know if this is like I feel like I'm in school and you guys are just like taking notes and sleeping at your desk.
So what happens if I have a pair of winged boots?
Oh no.
I did not delve that far into the rules. I don't know.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
So I don't want to give myself an unfair advantage here. Either compared to the DM or other players, having the experience that I have from listening to the podcast for years, I just want to make everyone realize that among the basic actions, the 5-foot step is a really important one, because if someone doesn't have to move and they're in your face, they can take 3 attacks against you. And for some creatures in the game, that's a huge thing. That's like, if all 3 hit you, you're dead.
Mhm.
So in this game, if something's in your face, you're pretty much always going to want to take a 5-foot step away from them, because if you do that, they have to take a 5-foot step towards you to make an attack, and therefore you've taken away their ability to do a massive amount of potential damage to you.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. Like, that one is one that pretty much everyone uses all the time, if they're a melee fighter, if they're a ranged fighter, any of that stuff. So it's not always something you can do, but it's a very good tool in combat.
Some other thing to note, opportunity attacks are not built into the system, I don't think. So if you are trained in combat, like fighters are, then you have an ability specifically calling out an opportunity attack that you can take against somebody that moves away from you. But like disengaging or just walking away from a rogue shouldn't trigger an opportunity attack, I don't think. So if I look at like Valerie's character sheet, right, it says under the reactions, under the action section, it says attack of opportunity is a special reaction that you can take as a fighter. So it's another way to kind of highlight that fighters are better at fighting than everyone else, right?
Yeah. It even gets more complicated than that. If you are trained in combat reflexes, you can take more than one opportunity attack in a round.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. That's like the more complicated, the more extreme and powerful version of opportunity attacks. You can do it multiple times. So it's interesting.
And the other thing to note is like spells have like different actions that they can be cast at. I think the standard baseline is like 2 actions for a spell, but there are some spells that can be cast at like 1, 2, or 3 actions. So a good example of this is on the cleric. There is the heal spell, and so heal can be cast at 1 action. So what's it say? It says, okay, so if you cast it with 1 action, you have to touch the person, and then they restore 1d8. If you cast it with the 2 actions, then it extends the range to 30 feet, and they get d8 plus 8. Is that it?
Yeah, an extra 8, and it requires more things. In the 1 action, it's just somatic. With the 2 action, it's verbal and somatic.
Got it, because you're like healing wording it out into a range, right?
Yep.
And then for 3 actions, it adds the material component, and then heals everything within 30 feet of you.
Yeah, because you're dispersing positive energy away from your body.
But from what my reading doesn't say, it doesn't say choose willing targets, right? It's everything.
It's everything. Enemies. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so there's a lot of little things like that. Weapons have like special tags, so like you'll have tags that'll say like forceful, or sorry, is it forceful? No.
Yeah, my scimitar has forceful and sweep.
Okay. I don't remember what forceful does. Sweep, I know, is like if you sweep attack, your first attack doesn't get anything, but your second attack of the turn gets like an increase in damage, and then the third attack gets more increase in damage, because it's like that idea of sweeping through things and building up your momentum, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of this gets very nuanced, and I don't know how much of it's going to come up tonight, but like, if you see a tag, it's on one of these like sheets, and if you don't know what it means, ask and we'll figure it out. The other big thing here that I want to call out is spellcasting. Okay, so in 5th edition, when you do spellcasting, they use the system where you have spell slots. So I have a first level spell slot. All right, let's say I have 2 first level spell slots at first level, and both our spellcasters today have 2 first level spell slots. And so what that means is, in 5th edition, you just pick like 3 spells. I'm going to prepare Magic Missile and Shield and Mage Armor, right? And then I can cast any one of those 3 spells using my spell slot. So I just prepare the 3 spells, I expend a spell slot and cast one of them. In Pathfinder, it goes back to that old school 3rd edition D&D where you prepare a certain spell into your slot. So, for instance, you have 2 first level slots. You pick which spell goes into each slot. So maybe you put Burning Hands in one slot, and then you put, like, you know, Magic Weapon in the second slot. You can only cast each one time. Once you cast that spell slot, the spell is, like, lost, right? So you have to very specifically call out which spells you're preparing. Subtle difference, but do you guys get the difference between that and 5th edition? Like, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Who's playing the wizard?
E.
So does that make sense to you how that spellcasting works? The preparing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So yeah, so that'll be the little bit different. And on the character sheet, you'll see like it says daily uses blank out of blank under spells. So when you prepare a spell, just like put like 1 out of 1. And if you don't prepare the spell, then you put 0 out of 0. And that's so you can keep track of how many of each spell you have prepared.
Hey, I've got a little bit of information about the traits thing.
Okay.
So if anyone has Forceful, that's the one that builds momentum. So when you attack with it more than once on your turn, the second attack gains a bonus to damage equal to the number of damage dice rolled.
Got it.
And then on the third attack, it's double the number of weapon dice rolled. The other thing I have on the scimitar is Sweep, and that makes it so if I hit one person and then the person next to them, I go to attack them with my next attack, I get a plus to my attack because I hit the first guy.
Got it. So I got Sweep and Forceful backwards.
Yep.
And Sweep means you're good at attacking multiple targets in one turn.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's all more complicated, but it's nuance. It's not really complication. It's nuance.
Right. And so with the wizard, so I added all the extra, or for the cleric I added all the spells. For the wizard, I added the spells that you should have access to, and then you can prepare them as you see fit. The one that I would call out is different. Is you have something called Forceful or Force Bolt. Mm-hmm. So as a wizard, you choose to specialize in a school of magic, and Ezrin is specialized in evocation magic. So what that means is you get access to a school spell, which is this Force Bolt. Your Force Bolt doesn't use your normal spell slots. It's like a bonus spell that you have. So you use it, and then to get it back, it just takes like 10 minutes of preparation time. So 10 minutes of rest and 10 minutes of downtime, and you get that spell back.
Got it.
So it's kind of like a bonus spell that you have that you can replenish throughout the day more. It's like a weaker version of Magic Missile, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. So that's like the special like wizard thing. What else do I? So the fighter. What does the fighter have? Oh, as a fighter. So this is something that's different that you may not be used to. In 5th edition, you have a shield. You just have a +2 to AC all the time. I'm walking around, my shield's up. I got +2 AC. Why would I never carry a shield? Here, you actually have to, on your turn, because you have that feature as your class, you put the shield on, and you take an action to raise your shield. And when you raise your shield, that gives you the +2 AC until the start of your next turn, I believe. So if you don't use an action to raise your shield, it's like you're not using it. And then when something actually hits you, you can use your reaction. If you've raised your shield, you can use your reaction to like absorb the blow. And then you reduce the damage by a flat 5, I believe it is. And then you and the shield both take damage, whatever the remaining damage is. And if your shield takes too much damage, it breaks. I think it has 20 hit points, and if it takes 10, it's broken. And then you got to spend downtime repairing it between fights. So as a fighter, you're maxing your attacks with your raising your shield and all of that, and when to absorb below when to not. So it gives you a little bit more options as a fighter rather than just like attack 8 times in a round. Attack, 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 action surge, attack, 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 bonus action, attack. So does that make sense for for Valerie.
Yes.
Okay. And then for the rogue, what makes the rogue special? I guess it's the whole like sneak attack, right? Did you take a look at how the sneak attack works on the rogue? I think. So they call it. No. Okay, so surprise attack. Enemies are. Oh, yeah, so they have this concept of flat footed. So if you're in combat, if you're engaged with someone, they're like battle ready, right? But if you catch someone off guard, then they become what you call flat footed, which reduces their AC by 2, first of all. And second of all, can trigger a lot of this rogue stuff, right? So I think if you ever attack someone that's flat-footed, you add extra damage.
Flat-footed also applies when they're flanked.
Yeah, so when you flank someone, that person becomes flat-footed against the people flanking them. So like if you move into melee range with someone and flank that character, then they're flat-footed, that'll definitely trigger your sneak attack. But I don't think I think the flat-footed condition only applies to the people engaged in melee, but we need to double check that. So yeah, so pretty much the idea is to attack, like hide and pop out and attack stuff. And there is like basically when you hide, you take the hide, you have to break like a line of sight, and then you take the hide action. And then when you go to move, there's a special action called sneak, which allows you to move up to your movement speed half of your movement speed, and then make another stealth check to remain like hidden. So it makes it a little more explicit how stealth works in this game. So you have to break line of sight, take the hide action, and then if you want to move from that spot and still remain hidden, you have to use that sneak action. I think that covers. Sorry, go ahead.
If there's stealth, they're flat-footed to you, but nobody else.
Yes,
is how that works. Yeah, it's interesting.
Flat-footed is just this condition. It's on that condition cards, right? And I think it just says -2 AC. It's like, is that considered like a circumstance AC? Or circumstance thing? Flat-footed. You're unable to defend yourself well. You take a -2 circumstance penalty to AC. Flanking makes you flat-footed only to creatures flanking you, but some effects can make you flat-footed against everything. And if you like grab someone and like grapple them, they become flat-footed too. So like if the fighter runs up and just grabs somebody and bear hugs them, then the rogue could just like shove them to death, I guess.
Yeah, it's like in Pathfinder, there are a lot of builds that are like grapplers and wrestlers because it makes sense with the rule set.
Okay. And so like attack action, right? You have 3 actions, and striking is like an attack action. There's nothing that says you can't attack with all 3 actions, like Jordan was mentioning earlier. If you have 3 actions, you could attack with all 3 actions. The problem is like when you do subsequent attacks, you get like a penalty to your attack. So your first attack of the turn is just straight, whatever your bonuses are. The second attack you make in a turn has -5 applied to the attack roll, and the third attack has -10. Now, if you're using agile weapons, which are better at like multiple strikes, the penalty is reduced to -4 and -8. But otherwise, there's nothing that prevents you from just attacking 3 times in a row, other than your later attacks are less likely to hit, right? So that's where a lot of that like step and movement and all these other abilities you have come into play. I think that covers the majority of the stuff. There is a concept here. So critical hits in D&D 5th edition, the only way to get a critical hit on something is to roll like a natural 20. Or some classes get it on like a 19 or even like an 18. But you have this crit range, and the base dice has to hit that. But in Pathfinder, anytime you hit something and you beat its AC by 10 or more, that's considered a critical hit. So if something has an AC of 15 and you roll like an 18 plus 7 for a 25, boom, you've crit it. And crits in this game are actually different in that you roll your damage, and then you add all your modifiers, and then you double it after everything's added up. Instead of like D&D, you roll 2 dice and then add the modifiers once. No. You roll the damage and double it with all modifiers built in.
Yeah,
So
nasty.
yeah, and there are certain things that will say like do like an extra damage die in a crit or something like that. Like crits become like pretty big. The same thing. There are, when you're talking about like saves, the basic save is the idea of like Sacred Flame. You save or suck, right? Sacred Flame, you do a dex save. In 5th edition, you do a dex save. If it hits you, if you fail, you take damage. If you succeed, you don't. But there are different levels of success and failure in Pathfinder. So for the most basic sort of I don't want to mess this up. So like for the most basic level of saving, right? If you beat the save target by 10 or more, that's considered a critical success. A critical success would mean I take 0 damage from the attack. A regular success would mean I take half damage from the attack. A failure would mean I take full damage from the attack. And a critical failure, which is 10 under the target, you take double damage. So that's a concept that 5th edition does not have. Also, hello, Walt Heisenberg. Good name there. Welcome to the stream. So in this way, like, in D&D, there's no way to ever crit on like a save spell. But here, if they crit fail a save, they're taking double damage. And the same thing, whereas a lot of spells is like save for half damage, you can actually completely avoid damage completely if you roll well. So that comes into play mostly during the spells you guys will see, like with Burning Hands and stuff like that. Is that too much information for you guys?
No,
Still
sir.
trying to process.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the good news is they did a really good job with this beginner's box because it really plays out like it's a video game tutorial level. Like you ever play like Cuphead and it's like a really hard game, but the first level, they do a good job of holding your hand and making sure you know how to jump, you know how to attack, you know how to parry.
Unless you're that one game journalist that took like 10 minutes to get through the tutorial.
That is true, and I'm sure there will be, so like if you came into this game, if we were playing Pathfinder beginner box knowing nothing about 5th edition or nothing about role-playing games, this might feel like that daunting of a task. But with a general sort of like level and a DM that kind of, well, I'm going to take that back because they hold the DM's hand. I've never seen this before in a printed sort of RPG game. Never happens in 5th edition. They hold the DM's hand through this thing. They say, hey, here's the first combat. This is what you need to do. Pick this thing, roll the initiative for this monster, group them up. Here's your strategy. It like literally talks to the DM and says, it's a tutorial for the DM, and each scenario is built in a way that it's a tutorial for the players. Here's a combat sequence. Oh, here's like a skill check challenge. Oh, here's something, let's add some like difficult terrain and teach you how that works. And it does it in a way that actually helps the DM to keep from being overwhelmed for a brand new DM. And I really appreciate that. So I really want to see more of this stuff from like D&D or something, or other Pathfinder stuff. But they've done a really good job with this. So kudos to you, Paizo. So even though it sounds overwhelming, because they've built this module to ease you guys in like a tutorial level, we're going to get through this together and learn as we go. So it shouldn't be too overwhelming once we get started. And we're all learning this together. So if you feel like you don't understand something, the chances are everyone except for Jordan also doesn't understand it.
I'll try not to pipe up too much.
I guess the other thing to note on your character sheets for all your attacks, like for instance, I'm looking at Maricel right now, or sorry, Halicel. You didn't update your name on your character sheet. So for like short, I have like a weapon, it says short sword, right? So if I click the short sword, it's going to do the short sword attack. Okay. If I am doing it as my second attack for the turn, it says number 2 next to it. You click the number 2 and it automatically applies the penalties for being your second attack of the turn. Same thing with the number 3. Also, let's see. So if your class is going to be attacking more than once, it's built into the Roll20 sheet. The Roll20 sheet's not pretty, we're used to Beyond 20 and using D&D Beyond, but it's pretty functional. It's just not pretty. It's a lot of brown.
Where can I find the range for the weapons?
Good question. So let's see. You are you are Valerie. So let's see. Is it in the inventory? Does it tell you?
I see it. Like,
It doesn't really seem to say it anywhere, does it? Does anyone else see it?
See. Maybe when I click it.
60 feet.
It says at the bottom of that short bow attack, yeah.
10 feet on that dagger. So you can throw it 10 feet.
Let's see. Is it so I guess if you go to your, like, for instance, if you go, it doesn't show it like on the base thing, but if you, for instance, open up the cog right here for your longsword, and if I click it, it should open on yours too. It'll show you all the behind the scenes information, including the range. Which I guess the range is, I don't see the range for the longsword.
Probably can't throw it.
Sure, but wouldn't you want to know the difference between like a 5-foot melee range or 5-foot melee attack and like something with reach? Is it just
that's
reach?
what I'm trying
It'll
to
say reach.
Is that so? Like it'll just say reach as an item tag.
Yeah.
Where would it say that? Under inventory?
It's under your character, under your actions.
So if you
you'll see melee strikes.
Yes.
And then underneath, under attack, it'll say T plus whatever, and then in parentheses, forceful, sweep, whatever.
Yeah, so for your longsword, I see it says versatile P.
I don't see that part. Hang on. Yeah, no. It's
you
just
click-
versatile ...
So if you click
Yeah.
the cog, it'll show all the different traits because you have to put them in manually.
Yeah. Plus, if,
Oh,
if you roll it and see it in the window, like in the chat window, it'll say like all the traits every time you attack. So a versatile trait. So your longsword says versatile P, which means the longsword normally does slashing damage, but versatile P means you can adjust it to do piercing damage as part of that weapon. So when you attack, you can either do slashing or piercing, your choice.
Got it. I see it.
There's a website called Archives of Nevis that has like, you can just put in whatever you want and search it there. It does Pathfinder and Starfinder, and it can tell you what any of these traits are, anything you want to know if you want to look up anything.
Yeah, there's this tab here which shows all the equipment, but it's not very easy to see it on Roll20. To like look at it here, to scroll down. You can't really control F on it or anything, but it shows you all the different weapons, what their traits are, and like what each trait means. Or use the external site like Jordan's saying, because it's much easier. So I think I've talked at you guys enough. Are we ready to become adventurers as we delve under... I guess we're trying to we're going to tackle the Menace under Otari. That's the name of our module. So we are planning to do this over multiple sessions. Right, tonight we're planning to play for 3 hours, so we're playing from 7 to 10. So we got a couple hours tonight. And then next week we'll continue the second session, because I don't think we're going to finish in one sitting. And probably finish next week, I would imagine. It's not too long. Like I said, it's like a tutorial. So, any other questions? I don't expect you guys to know everything, but at least you should have a good grip of how the game handle works. And if since we're coming from 5th edition, 90% of the game's the same. You roll initiative, you take order, you attack within initiatives. You have skills, you roll a d20, you do skill modifiers. The stuff behind the character sheet is much more complex, but it's definitely not worth delving into yet. But the cool thing is, in D&D 5th edition, you're either proficient or not. And if you have certain classes like rogues, you're experts in something, right? There's like 3 levels of training, and 4th if you want to factor in bards being half proficient in jack of all trades. But in Pathfinder, you can be trained, you can be like expert, you can be like legendary. There's like finer tuned levels of skill that you can do. So at first level, you guys are usually trained or not, but like as you get higher in level, you can be so good at something that you've got like a plus 30 to stealth, and you can make Ava from Beyond Avernus into like a sucker with your plus 30 to stealth.
Yeah. So another interesting thing for skills, usually you're not allowed to roll for something if you're not trained in it. So like you can't roll religion if don't have any training in it, because you don't have any experience, you don't have any training. If someone wants to help you on a roll, instead of giving you advantage, they roll, and if they get above a 10, I think.
Well, the guidance in the book says the average, the standard DC to help with something is 20.
Oh, interesting. So if you help,
it's up to the DM.
Yeah. So it'll just give them aid, which doesn't give them advantage. It gives them +2 on their roll, but multiple people can aid. So you can stack that bonus if multiple people are helping you do something.
Yeah, the concept of advantage and disadvantage is not in this system, as far as I've seen. That's a strictly 5th edition thing. The other interesting thing is, like when I was looking at this help situation, is like multiple people can help with a skill if they're trained to help, but if you fail, or like especially if you critically fail the help roll, you actually hinder the roll. So a success gives a +1, a critical success gives a +2, a fail gives a nothing, and a critical fail hurts the person trying to do the skill. So if you're not really good at it, you could actually hurt the person trying to do it, which is interesting. But yeah, there is this idea of so that if we go back to that skills screen that we were looking at earlier, there's 2 columns, right? There's like the untrained actions, and then there's the trained actions. So anything that's in an untrained action, anyone can attempt. Even if you're not trained in that skill, you can attempt those actions. But under the trained actions column, those are things that you have to be trained in that skill to actually do. So if I have medicine, if I'm not trained in medicine, I could try to recall knowledge in that, or stabilize someone that's dying, or staunch bleeding. But if I'm trained in medicine, now I get access to this treat wound skill that actually lets me heal people. So there is this distinction between untrained and trained actions, which is kind of cool. All right, is everyone... So I'm about to start the Sirenscape music, so anyone that wants to be on Sirenscape that hasn't yet, pop over, open it up, and I will play that music.
Should I reinstall it, or should I just not do it for tonight?
It's up to you. If you want to just install it real quick, you can, and then you can get it added as you join.
Okay.
Did you have to edit? So did you have to reformat your whole computer?
No, I just didn't think we were ever going to use it again.
Okay, so welcome to the town of Otari. Hence the name Menace under Otari. 1 second, I gotta pull it up. The small seaside town of Otari is known for its fresh fish and skilled sailors. But above all, it is a big logging town, providing valuable wood to the nearby metropolis of Absalom. But for you, Otari is home. You grew up playing on the docks, getting lost in the nearby woods, and hearing the fantastical stories of travelers from faraway lands, tales of terrifying dragons and virtuous knights. Such adventure always seemed so distant. Until today. Word has begun to spread around Otari that there's a problem down at the Otari fishery. Some are saying that some sort of beast is lurking in the basement, feeding on the stores of salted fish. Folks are worried that whatever is eating the fish might soon get hungry enough to eat the fisherman next. You've received a letter from Tamily Tandervell, the owner of the fishery. Inside is a desperate plea for help. With the town guard busy protecting the loggers, she needs a few brave souls to venture down into the basement of her warehouse and put an end to the beast that's feasting on her fish. Do you have the courage to face the menace under Otari? So, the four of you guys are, I guess you're like a fledgling group of adventurers looking for your big break. And hey, here in your hometown, you've got your first big break of adventures. You just need to go to the fishery, find out what's eating the fish, and take care of the problem. So, we open, like you guys are sitting in this fishery, right? It's kind of there's probably like a bar, tavern, restaurant situation. And then in the back, there's like a warehouse. And deep below that warehouse is where the menace under Otari lives. But why don't we take a minute to go around the table so you guys can give a quick description of your character, what they look like, and such. So let's start with Valerie. Valerie, why don't you give us a description of what you look like, anything else you'd like to say about your character?
All right. So Valerie comes in with a top knot over her head. She has medium armor on. Oh, okay. I'm like, that's not me.
No, that's
she has
Tandervall. She's the owner of the fishery that is sitting down with you guys, begging you to help.
She has medium armor on, with weapons strewn over her back, and then one that she's carrying. She's currently nose deep into the letter, with Miss Tamley, eyes darting from the letter to the door of the fish store, wondering if she found the right place. She sees the door and she knocks.
Yep. Tamily. Such a weird name, Tamily. Tamily opens the door, looking up, like, "Oh, have you come from the letter?"
Hello, yes. I see that you're looking for help. I think I could assist.
We got one more. Come on in. They're just gathering right now.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
So you kind of step into like the tavern, and you look and you see three other people kind of sitting around a table already enjoying a fresh plate of salted fish and the drinks of their choice. So you make eye contact with Cairo. Cairo, why don't you go ahead and give a description of your character and maybe what you'd be doing?
Cairo's sitting down, enjoying the salted fish, and next to him on the floor, next to his chair, is like a travel pack with all kinds of stuff on there. Bedroll. There's a shield attached to it. He's got a scimitar on his belt, and around his neck hangs a religious symbol of Sarenrae. And he's going to town on this fish. You can tell that he loves fish. He's also wearing a chain shirt, and he's got long white hair, but you can tell maybe that happened early. Maybe he's lived a rough life. His face definitely looks like it. And he looks up and says, "Sit down, lass. There's plenty to go around."
All right, and Valerie kind of pulls up to the table and takes an empty seat next to Ezrin. Ezrin, why don't you give a description and a little bit about your character?
Ezrin kind of looks up, and Valerie sees this sort of middle-aged, dark-skinned human woman with curly hair, sort of held up in a scarf. She's dressed very simply. It looked like she just came back from a round of studying at the library, and you can see that there's like a spell book attached to her hip. It looks to be pretty well-worn and studied and read. Not a lot of weapons, not kind of a weapons person. No armor because her mind is her armor.
Very cool. You sit down, and then across from you, like somebody slides a drink across the table in front of you, and you look up, and you meet the eyes of Halrizian.
Yeah, Alrizian's brown-skinned elf. He's got long braids tied in a top knot that go about halfway down his back, and he's fidgeting with his dagger. He's underneath his nails, and then he'll like carve into the table really quick. And when somebody looks at him, he brings it back. He's wearing just plain leather armor. He's got a rapier on one side, a short sword, but he's dilly down his dagger, flipping it through his fingers, and, like carving his name on the table, and like covers it with his hands and looks around. He seems like he's always on the lookout, as if he's been one who's used to being in trouble.
And Tamily kind of comes over, and she's wiping a bit of sweat off her brow. She's like, I'm sorry, it's busy today. So, as I was saying, I need somebody to go down there and find out what's eating my fish and take care of it, because word is getting out that this thing is down there, and I can't lose customers. So, I'll make it worth your while. She kind of looks around. She says, I'll pay each one of you 10 gold if you can free my tavern from the menace under Otari.
Kyra's got a mouthful of fish, and he's like, no, all isn't a good deed. And then she says 10 gold, and he goes, oh, yes, of course. That is much appreciated. Thank you.
When you're all ready, you can in the back, there's a staircase down. I keep a cold storage down there. There's a bunch of barrels of fish. Something's getting in and smashing my barrels and eating the fish. I don't know much more of that. Just a second! Sorry, I gotta get going. If you need anything, just let me know. And she like scurries off to like begin waiting behind the bar, leaving the four of you guys to sit around and discuss whatever you would like to do next.
Hello. Pleasure
Hello.
to meet you all.
Hello.
Hello.
Have you all been waiting long?
No.
Not really.
Oh, that's perfect.
For Cairo to eat, or for the job?
For the job.
Not as long as Cairo to eat. When we arrived, he was already on his second or third plate.
Oh goodness.
I love fish.
You do? Is there not a lot of fish where you came from, or?
No, I've stayed here for quite a while. I was not born here, but this is kind of where I teach the blessings of Sarenrae. But I come here and eat often. So when I heard that I could be paid to eat fish and protect fish, I said yes.
That's very virtuous of you.
Ezrin looks at the super high stacks of plates in front of Cairo and looks mildly disgusted.
Do you want some?
I'll pass.
Okay. I'm ready, by the way. And he just takes the plate up and then just kind of tilts it and just opens his mouth and kind of just takes his hand and just puts the rest of the food into his mouth, and he's like, I'm ready to go.
Do you want to wash that down before we head down? I don't want you to choke on it.
He's
or
standing
anything.
up. He's standing up and he's holding a pint of ale. No,
Oh. Okay,
And-
let's go.
Yeah, as he kind of stands up, the camera kind of pans from our ragtag group of adventurers as you hear the scraping of stools along the ground, and the camera pans to a door in the back that's clearly marked employees only. And the camera kind of goes closer to the door until it kind of goes right into it, and we do a crossfade as our characters are traversing down into beneath the fishery. So, pinging you guys over here.
I wonder You said something big is getting in, maybe through a hole, or does it come in when it's small or grow when it gets in here? I want to take a look around.
Yeah. The stairs leading into the basement of the Otari fishery creak with age as you make your way downstairs to find the beast that has been eating all the fish. In the center of the room, between stone pillars holding up the fishery overhead, are barrels filled with salted fish. 2 of these barrels have been smashed open, spilling their contents onto the floor. In the east wall is a large hole, opening into darkness. So, you guys can feel free to move your characters down the stairs into the fishery. And why don't you guys go ahead and describe to me what you guys are doing down here. Each of you guys take turns. Give me, I want everyone to give me, a quick description of what they would be doing initially as you come down. This is the part where the tutorial pops up and says, did you know that during exploration phase, you can tell the DM what you want your character to do, and that DM will respond accordingly. Press OK to continue. So, each one of you guys gets to tell me one thing your character would be doing.
Rather than wasting a torch, would anyone like to have light on themselves if they don't care about being seen?
Which is an interesting thing to back up because 3 of you guys are humans, so you have no dark vision. 1 of you is an elf, but in Pathfinder, elves have what is called low light vision, not dark vision. So elves can see in dim light like it was bright light, but can't see in pitch black.
I wouldn't pass an opportunity to see. I can't see anything.
Would you like your weapon to glow? Or
I will,
that shield?
Valerie will raise her shield.
Okay. So you're using the light cantrip?
Yep.
So that puts a 40-foot, or 20 dim, 20 bright coming off of Valerie?
Yes, sir.
So what does your spellcasting look like?
So he puts his hand out. He puts his other hand onto his chest, and as he holds his hand up, he does a couple finger movements and whispers a prayer to Saren Ray, and then just taps the weapon that Valerie's holding, and it just what kind of weapon are you using, Valerie?
At the moment, a longsword.
So your blade just starts to glow with light.
Okay, and that lights up the room pretty bright. So, most of you guys will see the bright light coming off Valerie, right? And there's a bit of dim. This room's pretty small, so there's not a lot of dim light. But you guys would see, all the humans would see the dim light as slightly darker, right? Anything that's in dim light has the concealed condition against you, which means essentially, if it tries to hide, it can. And also, if you attack something that's in dim light, there is just a flat chance that it misses because it's too dark. So all the humans will see that dim light, and it'll be a difference. But for you, Hal, that dim light, just ignore that it's dim and treat it like it's bright for you. So anything in even dim light, you can see perfect.
Got it.
Yeah, Roll20 doesn't support the 3 tiers of the different tiers of light that Pathfinder's second edition has. So we'll make do. Okay, so speaking of Hal, so the light goes up and then you see everything lights up in your elf eyes. What are you doing down here?
I want to look around for clues of who might be in here, whether that's tracks or what otherwise.
Okay.
I just want to look for.
Why don't you give me a straight perception roll?
All right, where is this?
Is it seek? What is it? It's called seek, right? Is that what they call it?
Just look
Let's see.
under my skills.
So perception should be on the right-hand side in the middle. It's split out different from all the other skills.
Gotcha. Perceive.
22. So as you do a perception and you start looking through here, there is very obviously a set of like small humanoid footprints that leave with your 22. It actually seems to leave like the impression of scales. It seems to be some kind of like lizard creature that has been down in here.
Point that out to my comrades. Look here. It looks like there are some kind of prints here and here. You can see some markings where the scale has scraped across the floor.
Oh, that was terrifying.
Sorry, like my online player crashed. I had to restart it, and then I had to restart the music, and it went back to the beginning of the cellar. Sorry.
Oh, I thought a door was closing. I was terrified.
I thought someone came in.
This is supposed to be you guys coming down. Okay, so yeah, so Hal finds a bunch of footprints, and they lead directly in and out of that hole in the east wall, for sure.
Alright.
Ezrin?
Ezrin is taking a look at the smashed barrels and is trying to determine like how big the creature might be if they're smashing it with their bare hands.
Let's see. What would be a good skill for that? In D&D 5th edition, I would say give me an insight check, right? What would the good one be for this game? Let's see. I'm looking through the list of skills to see. I don't see like a straight sort of like insight kind of check, huh? I wonder if they just mean in this game like the insight falls on the player more than it falls on the character. I don't know. Why don't you make me a recall knowledge in whatever skill you think might be applicable.
I would argue nature.
Yeah, nature sounds fine. You're like, is this some kind of beast, right? They keep calling it the menace, the beast. So nature would be a good one. So give me a nature recall knowledge.
15.
So looking at the way it's smashed, there are plenty of beasts that may or may not feast on fish. Very few that you would think would come into like a fishery to do their like hunting, like go into barrels, right? Most beasts are like hunters. But like looking as you're looking at the way that the barrels are splintered, you feel like it's less beastly. Like whatever tore into these, it's not like teeth and claws. It's more like swords and the force of pulling it off the shelf that smashed it into the ground.
Got it.
Definitely not any sort of beast that you can think of. And Valerie.
Valerie's spending her time marveling at the sword that's lit up and just swinging it like a lightsaber.
Back
Is
to
she
the
making
Star
the
Wars.
lightsaber noises?
Okay. So Valerie is sitting here and like doing the like lightsaber thing and like casting light like kind of down this little like hole, right? And the eyes, you're kind of like looking in that direction, and as you're doing that, you hear basically you hear a strange chittering coming from that direction, and basically coming up the bottom of that tunnel, you see a rat the size of like a dog kind of tearing up that tunnel your way, and it, from the sound of it, it does not appear to be alone. The giants
shield.
Yeah, the giant rats rush towards you, their huge teeth snapping. So this is where we come to our first combat.
Woo!
So I'm going to have everyone roll me initiative using perception.
Yeah, I did it right.
Of course, I clicked the wrong thing. Where is it on here?
Should be in the
on the
middle
right.
right? No?
Right next to perceive on perception.
Oh, there it
under
is.
hit
Like in
points.
the
Totally
middle
right. Yep.
of the box.
The one place I didn't look on this entire sheet. course.
Well, you all beat the rats. That's good.
Dang, natural 20?
I feel like I wasted it though.
It makes sense because you're doing the lightsaber thing. You're the first one to see him coming, right? So remember, in combat, you get 3 turns, right? You get 3 actions. Sorry, 3 actions on your turn to do anything you want to do. So, Valerie, you are first up. What would you like to do?
Question for did everyone see and hear the rats?
They're not stealthy at all, so everyone at this, there's no surprise or anything, especially because you guys' perception beat the rats. So, like, you noticed the rats way before the rats noticed you, which is why you guys are all acting first. So, yeah.
Okay, so I'll pull out my longsword, and then I will move towards the rat.
Okay.
Haha!
So you use the stride action, right? Stride is that what they call the movement action?
Yes, the stride. So
And what's your speed?
25.
Okay. So you can move up to 5 squares. And like the interesting thing too is like wearing heavy armor actually like weighs you down in this game. So your base movement speed might be 30 feet, but because you're wearing a chainmail or plate mail, it lowers it, which 5th edition does not. Okay, so you weigh down these giant, snarling, large-teethed rats, like snapping at your ankles. I guess your knees are pretty big.
So on my way there, I was shouting enthusiastically, and then when I got there, I just screamed, "Oh boy!" And then I will raise up my shield.
Oh, so you're raising your shield as the second action. Okay. So that gives you a +2 AC. Let's mark your token with that. Just to remind us. I guess I'm just gonna put this as a shield.
Tricky.
Yep. So until starting next turn, you get +2 AC, and you now have unlocked the ability to like block an attack with your action.
Yes. And then I'll call out, my friends! It appears that there are a lot of dogs in here, and then I will take a step as an action. Step back.
Okay.
5 feet back, right?
5 feet.
Okay. I'll move right here so that if people want to move in, they can.
Okay.
That's my turn.
You nestle into the turn. Okay.
Cairo leads over to Hal and says, "I'm fairly certain that's not a dog."
Alright. Ezrin followed by Hal.
What is the rules for moving through, like, ally spaces?
Good question. Jordan, do you know?
I'm fairly certain it's the same as D&D 5e, but the difference here is you can move through enemy spaces as well to avoid stuff like attacks of opportunity. You have to roll for it.
So what it says is no penalty for moving through allies in combat. Moving through an enemy counts as difficult terrain. So you actually
Also, can I break up my movement? So like, can I stride, attack, and then like keep on moving as part of that same action?
I do not think so. No.
You can, but you would have to use another action to do like a step.
Or take a second stride, right?
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so there's no way, like, you don't take, it's not like D&D where you have 30 feet of movement for your turn. You take the stride action, move up to your speed, and then take your second action. So yeah.
All right. I kind of figured. Okay, so Ezrin is going to cast Ray of Frost on this rat dog right here, and I will roll to attack.
So that's an attack roll.
14?
14 misses. So like it just like glances right off the back of like the rat's like fur, and like the side of the wall gets hit with like crystal. What does it look like when you cast a spell? Like, do you have a focus or something, or how are you doing it?
She is frantically flipping through her spell book to figure out how to cast a spell, and I guess that she gets so absorbed in it that it doesn't work. And once she sees that doesn't work, she's going to use the stride action and skedaddle behind the other people.
Okay.
Over here.
Perfect. Is that it?
And yes, that is it.
All right. Halaricio followed by Kyra.
You might be muted, Rick.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the basic action of like sneaking or hiding.
I think it's actually under skills. It might not be called out in the basic rules. Oh, so under skills we have sneak and hide under stealth.
Gotcha. I would like to stride
Okay.
over here
Okay.
and hide.
Okay. So then you take the hide action. So I think I don't know if you have to actually roll until it matters. Okay. Yeah, I guess it does. Okay, so the interesting thing. So this is the first instance of what we call like a secret roll. So since you're hiding, you don't know how well you hit or not. So the roll is made by me to me. So if I roll this, does it roll it to just me? Let's find out. Nope. I just didn't click it on. I wasn't sure. Okay. Well, you got a 14. And you know that because I don't know how Roll20 works. Okay, so you take your second action to hide. Now you're hidden from the rats. And you have one more action.
Not sure if there's anything else I can do because I'm trying to hide and be sneaky.
Yeah, for sneak, right? Once you've successfully hidden, you can use sneak to move up to half your speed and try to stay hidden. Or you can just stay where you are.
No, I'm gonna stay here.
Okay.
If they attack me, I'm dead.
Okay. Kyra. Followed by the rats.
All right. Kyra says, "Don't worry, Ezrin. I've got this." And hefts his shield in one hand and his scimitar in the other, and strides over to the rat.
Okay. So what's your movement speed?
Oh shit, 25.
Exactly.
Exactly what you needed.
My goodness. Okay.
Yep.
Every time someone goes down that tunnel, you hear, "Oh my god!"
So I would have stopped there. I just dragged my dude over, but
Sure.
I was doing it one square at a time. He sees this, and he's gonna take an attack at this rat right here.
Okay. Make your attack roll. No
So
penalty
let's-
for the first attack of the round.
Let's see how this goes. And I miss.
14 misses.
All right.
This is the first
so-
real danger you guys have ever faced in your adventuring career, and you can just see like the scimitar like quivering in your hand, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And then, he would take a step back normally, but he doesn't want to leave Valerie there, so he's just going to raise his shield,
Okay.
and that's his turn.
Okay.
Let's do this, lass.
Oh, it's so nice to have company here.
All right. So
They're not dogs. Just so you know, they're not dogs.
It's very hard to see, sir.
all right. So this first rat here is going to is running up the stairs, and like Hyro's there with the shield up and raised, and I'll mark you with your mark you so you know that you have it too. Okay. So the first rat is going to take an attack against Cairo. So that is a Jaws attack. That's a 22.
Holy crap. Yeah,
What's your
even if I
AC?
shield block, it would still hit. 17.
Yeah.
Or, 18 now.
Right. So yeah. So right. So do you want to use your reaction to like absorb the blow?
Do I have to do that before or after you tell me how much it is?
I don't know, but Roll20 rolled the damage so you can see it. So, oh, you can't see it. Okay, yeah. I think you would. I don't know. What do you think?
I'll look it up, but
What's your guys' gut reaction? Should I tell the damage and then you choose if you want to absorb it, or do you just raise the shield and take the damage?
Then it would be I'm gonna block it, right?
Before you know the damage.
yeah, I'll use my reaction.
Okay. So the damage was 4, and you reduce it by 5 and
Ooh.
take 0.
Ooh, okay, cool.
Okay.
That was just one attack, though.
Yeah. Second attack is a 4,
Miss.
natural 1, and then its third attack is an 8. So all 3 attacks crash against you and miss.
Beautiful.
Okay. This one here moves next to you, Valerie, and is going to attack you. So 1 action to stride into your range. Second action to attack. 15.
Misses.
And then third action to attack. 16.
Misses.
Okay.
Haha!
This one here can't seem to actually get any sort of purchase because you're kind of nestled in there. So this one actually runs forward here, 5 foot forward, and then uses so it's using a stride action, right? 5 foot forward, 15 feet to get under Cairo's feet. 20 feet gets right behind Cairo. Oops, I moved Cairo instead of that.
Oh.
So runs through Cairo, through his feet, and gets behind him with 1 stride action. I think they have that movement speed. Let me just check. So he used 20, and he has 30, so he can. And then after he gets behind Cairo finds himself flat-footed because he's now flanked by the rat.
Here's the thing. You have to attempt, in order to do it, you have to tumble through, which is a type of movement.
Are you sure?
Yeah. You stride up to your speed. During this movement, you can try to move through the space of an enemy. Attempt
that
an
under
acrobatics
stride?
check. Let me see if it's in the beginner's book.
Right, that's maybe why I didn't know. Basic action, basic. So stride, just as you move up to your speed, it doesn't say anything, so that's probably why I didn't know.
So it's under acrobatics in skill descriptions. Tumble through. Go ahead and read that.
So acrobatics. Alright, let's find it. Acrobatics.
Under skills.
Right, yeah. Acrobatics. Tumble through. You stride during this movement. You can try to move through the face of one enemy. It's true. It calls it out there that. So yeah. So he'll use one of his actions to try to run through your feet. So you make a reflex. Oh, what's your reflex DC? Do you have a reflex DC?
Yes, I do. I have reflex.
The rat got a 21 acrobatics.
Damn, that's super dope. I wish I knew where it was on this character sheet.
Let's see. Character
AC.
sheet. It's weird. I don't know.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah. For now, I'm going to assume the 21 gets through because it's a pretty high roll. So it uses 1 action to move through you, 1 action to... I guess the 1 action would just be the tumble, right?
It counts as it's a part of the stride.
Right. So it tumbles through you to the other side, and then catches you flat-footed as you find yourself surrounded, and it's going to take its first bite against you.
Okay, I found it. Go ahead and take the attack.
I got a 9.
Miss.
And then... Oh, sorry. The second attack was another 9.
Miss.
Okay. So it catches you flat-footed, but it's not able to actually successfully do anything. And so the last rat is going to do the same thing. Oh, the other thing I would say Valerie, I think moving out of your range triggers an opportunity attack if you want to take
Yes,
it.
I was gonna bring that up too.
Okay. So what does opportunity attack allow you to actually do?
It says that if a creature that I can reach, so I believe it passed me, like on my range. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, go
Makes
ahead
a
and make
ranged
that
attack,
roll.
uses an action or move trait.
Yep. It was definitely using the move trait because it was the tumble. So go ahead and make that attack.
So, okay, with my longsword
Yeah, because that's what you have.
or my yes.
Yeah. So as it runs by you, 16 hits. So the rat, that's a lot of damage. So the rat, so before it actually gets through Cairo's legs, you actually slash it and kill the rat.
Hell yeah.
Watch out, Cairo.
So all
Well,
that stuff about
unless-
attacking you, it missed because it was dead.
Okay, I have the reflex. We might need this for later, so we might want to figure this out.
All right.
So
and then-
it's
Sorry.
10 plus the level of the creature plus their dex and their ability bonus. So class level, proficiency, ability bonus plus 10.
So what is your DC?
I will tell you that in a second.
Because this other rat just rolled a 24 to tumble through you guys.
Oh, it definitely made it.
Okay. So it tumbles through you guys and then has 2 attack actions, catching you flat-footed. So Jaws attack an 18.
That just hits my DC, and I don't have any reactions left.
Right. So you take 3 piercing damage.
Ouch.
Hang on. It has another ability when it bites you, but it's not showing up in the character sheet on Roll20. Weird. I'll look it up in a second. And then his second bite against you is an 11.
Miss.
Alright, and that's all the rat's turn. Valerie.
Stop hitting the old man, I say, while I hit the one right in front of me with my longsword.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
27.
Dead.
Yeah, because that crits too.
That is true. It is a crit. So you dealt 22 slashing damage to that rat, and it did not survive 22 slashing damage.
Okay. And then I'll use my second action to stride to the next rat dog. And then for my last action, I'll hit it again with my longsword. Oops, sorry. That should be like attack number 2, right?
Right, so -5 off that.
Okay, 15.
Which one were you attacking?
Uh,
I guess it's
this
only
one.
Okay, so 15 does hit. 12 slashing kills it. So you slice through 2 rats. And that was all 3 of your actions, right?
Yes, that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Ezrin,
I figured out my reflex DC.
what is it?
It's 15. So
15.
everyone, look at your character sheet. Class DC is the number you start with, so it should be 11 for everyone because your base DC is 10. Then you're level 1, so it's 11, and then you add that to your reflex saving throw number. So under reflex, it'll say T or E or whatever that number. You add that to your class DC, and that's your reset. That's your reflex DC.
I'm surprised it's not
complicated.
called out on the sheet somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's not something you normally do, right? It's like a passive sort of thing. But okay.
Yeah.
So, Ezrin.
Alright. Ray of Frost another time on the one that is on Cairo.
Go for it.
There we go. Ooh, 11. Yikes.
11 misses. I think this
low
time
light's
you
really
hit the,
not
you
tracking with
completely
me.
missed the rat and just hit the wall right where how Rosine's like crouched and hiding, and it just like would have hit Hal in the face had he been standing fully.
And I guess I'll use an action to raise my shield.
Do you have a shield?
I do have a shield.
Wow.
It's incredible.
That's pretty interesting.
That's awesome.
I don't know how to pop that up in chat, but I can put it on my token.
I don't see it on your character sheet. I mean,
No, for sure.
Under held items, in your inventory.
yeah. Plus, raising a shield is like I think it's a class feature.
Oh, is it?
I think so. But like, I see like under your, I don't see a shield anywhere.
Under armor class?
Oh, I see. That's. I'm not entirely. Oh, I think that is how much you're like tracking the health of your shield, right? How much damage your shield's taken.
Yeah, that's what that's for.
So like Cairo, when your shield hit, right, it took 0 because it reduced it under the thing, but had it gone over the 5, you would have started taking damage to your shield. So that's what that's tracking. So unfortunately, like you don't actually have a shield, and even if you did, you don't have a ready shield action because it's not given to you by your class.
Okay, got it. Okay, I don't have anything else. I don't think I have anything else I want to do.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right.
that's my action.
Halrusian sneaking behind there, like you hear the
I want
rat just around the corner.
to sneak around the corner
Okay. Sneak
and
around the corner.
stab him
Make-
with my rapier.
So using the sneak, right? You're still trying to sneak up behind it without being noticed. So make a stealth roll for me. I'm not gonna do a secret roll. I'm just gonna have you do it. So you sneak up behind it and like slip on the rocks that are right there and like makes a little bit of noise, and it notices you. You pop around the corner, it notices you. Unfortunately, you do not get hidden advantage, but you still catch it flat-footed because it's flanked by you and Cairo.
Righty. Let's attack him with my rapier. As I yell, on guard, dog.
All right. Straight attack roll. It has a -2 AC due to the flat-footedness. So yes, so that
Holy
hits. It's not a crit. It's almost a crit, but not quite a crit. So that's 7 piercing damage. But you also have sneak attack, right?
I do.
Because it is flat-footed. Is that the trigger? If it's flat-footed, you get sneak attack.
Yes,
Perfect.
if I recall correctly. All
I
right,
think
now
that's-
to find sneak attack on my sheet.
Just roll a d6.
Damage and damage only roll. All right.
That's it. So 5 more. So with the sneak attack damage, that's enough to kill the last rat. So you pop out, you make a bunch of noise, but it doesn't matter. You still skewer this thing. So how would you like to do this, Halrusian?
So I jump out and I've got my hand in the air and my rapier ahead of me, and I salute Cairo and say, on guard, dog. And then I skewer it in the back of the head as it's leaping towards Cairo.
Oh, thank you, young man. I do have to say though, impressive, everyone. It wasn't a dog. It's just a really big rat.
Oh god, back to the footsteps in the door. So yeah, so as the rats kind of finish dying, the immediate threat is over. You can feel your adrenaline rush in your heartbeat. You successfully defended yourself. And Valerie, like holding your like lit sword up, you kind of like see this long tunnel seems to lead into some sort of like underground cavern, and up here you can see like just ahead a very like steep sort of like drop off that leads down. And so as you approach, like the whole like world pauses and it says, "Did you know that you could attempt to climb down objects? Doing so requires an athletics check and usually a rope. Press OK to continue." But because you have the light, right, you're lighting up this area, you get a good look at it. So the description of this room is also for defeating the rats, everyone gets 80 experience. So there should be a place to track experience on your character sheet, right?
Yes.
Is it Oh yes.
Where is it? Because I don't see it.
Right next to
It's
player name.
under deity.
Oh yeah. So 80 experience for defeating the rats. Good job, guys. 80 experience each.
Yay.
The way leveling up works in Pathfinder 2nd Edition is whenever you get 1,000 experience, you level up. And then you subtract the 1,000 experience and go back to 1,000 again.
Nice.
Okay. So, squeezing through the hole, you find yourself in a cavern that seems to stretch endlessly beneath the streets of Otari. Who knows what menace could be lurking down here? Up ahead, the passageway ends in a cliff that plunges sharply into the darkness, which is now lit up by your light spell, because who wouldn't use light right here? So there's a short, slippery cliff. It looks like the cliff's only about 10 feet tall, but it looks very slick with moisture, which means it might be kind of hard to, like, climb down.
We should, look, I'm older than both of you young women. We should attach a rope and put it down here. I don't think I'll be able to climb back up this. I'm just going to be honest with everybody.
There is plenty of, like, stalagmites, like, around the top half. You'd easily be able to, like, attach a rope to one of them and go down.
I'm gonna do that.
Does anyone have a rope? I don't know
I
what
do.
you guys have.
Me too.
I have a rope.
Well, you are adventurers, so I guess it makes sense you would have rope. So using the rope, yeah, it's like the little, like, tooltip. Like, using a rope is a way to make a difficult climb easier. Press OK to continue. So
Yeah.
you, like, tie. There's, like, a cutscene of you, like, tying the rope, like, around the stalagmite and, like, throwing it down the, like, moisture cliff. So now, since you have this rope, if you're using the rope, it's just, one by one you guys climb down.
Yeah, let's do that. Well done, everyone. By the way, Ezrin, before we get down there, does that look strange to you?
Does what look strange? Yes, that does look strange.
It looks like almost some sort of, like, mushrooms or fungus that's growing out of the wall.
That can't be good.
Can I do a nature-y kind of check thing?
Sure. Do a recall knowledge, nature-based.
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna go down the rope. No one laugh at me, please.
17?
Is it 17 for the nature?
It's a little weird, but it doesn't look to be dangerous or anything like that. It looks like a normal sort of fungus that grows in the region. So, yeah, there's no... It doesn't look dangerous to your eyes. Like, you're pretty sure you can get near it and not worry about it, like, hurting you. So, Cairo, as you go to descend the rope down this cliff, why don't you give me an athletics check?
Yes, sir. Not bad.
Yep. So, you're going down very, like, slow. It's, like, slippery, and you're, like, doing very, like, steady work. With the 17, you managed to make it, like, halfway down the surface, and you're holding on good, but you haven't made it all the way down yet because a success was not enough to fully descend. So I need you to make a second athletics check.
I gotta make a roll for every 5 feet? I thought it was only 10 feet.
Because of this, it says with the success, which you got, you managed to get 5 feet, but need to do... I think it's trying to teach you how, like, these multiple, like, things work.
Okay.
Even if it's not following the official rules, I guess. So what it says is, yeah, you did not roll high enough to make it in one go. So you start descending the second half, and, like, you kind of, like, feel like your hands starting to sweat and your feet are starting to slip a little bit, and you're so afraid that you're gonna, like, fall to the thing, and at the last second you actually slip, and then your feet land like an inch lower, and you realize you were all the way at the bottom, and you made it successfully.
Oh god, I thought I was gonna break a hip again. All right, everyone, I'm down. Let's go. Wait. Oh, you should all probably come down too.
Yep. So whose rope did we use?
Mine.
Okay. So who's?
I'll
going down
wait
second?
for everyone else to head down. I'll be the last one to go.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
Ezrin looks at Hal, Rician.
Well, okay then. I guess I will go. Let's go. And I will climb down.
All right. Give me your athletics check. Kyro's standing at the bottom watching, everyone's standing at the top, and it's just like one by one. Oh my god.
Oh no!
Natural 1. Alright, so so you put away all, like, you have to have both your hands free to climb, by the way, too, so like Kyro would have to put away the sword and the shield and descend. So you're like, if the old man can do it, how hard can it be, Halrizian, right? So you're like, I'll show him how it's done. You swing over the edge, you get on the rope, and the first thing that happens is your foot hits like a slick patch and just completely slips out from under you, and the rope is already wet from like the sweat of Kyro ahead of you, and it slips through your grasp, and you fall the 10 feet, and you all watch as Halrizian falls 10 feet to the ground, lands on the back as like all the wind is like knocked out of you in like a big sort of gulp of air, and you take 5 damage.
Oh.
That's a third of his health.
It's a third of his health.
Oh boy. Oof.
But you
So,
you make it down.
You said go down because she already tried to shoot me once with her cone of cold or her ray of frost, and now she made the rope frosty and wet.
Oh, sorry, son. That's probably me. I was terrified. That looked like it hurt. Let's wait till the ladies get down, and if they hurt themselves, I can patch us up.
So in this sort of like challenge, a critical fail means you fall all the way to the ground. Sorry there, Hal. All right, so I guess that means Valerie's waiting to go last. So that would mean Ezrin's up next.
Yep. Athletics, that is a 9.
Oh
So-
no.
You watch as Ezrin goes over the edge, right? And like gets the hands like on the rope,
Oh, sorry. Ignore that.
and like stands there and like wiping the hands to make sure they don't fall, and they're hanging there at the top, and they're trying to like move their feet down slowly, but they're so scared that like everyone sits and like 30 seconds passes, and Ezrin has made like no progress, and Ezrin's like, am I close, and you open your eyes and look down, and you're still 10 feet
No.
off the ground.
You're very close.
You have not fallen, but
But I have made no
you've made no progress.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
Give me another athletics check.
Can I help? By
You want to try to
moving
help?
off
Yeah.
the rope?
So yeah, you come over, and it's like helping is a good way to like assist your allies. So you lean over to try to help. So first, why don't you make an athletics check to help her?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Athletics.
16. So you managed to give help using the help action, pointing out where to go, giving tips. This is going to now give, because you were successful on your help action, this is going to give Ezrin a +1 on the roll. So Ezrin, make another athletics check, and we're going to add another 1 from the help.
I already
Oh.
rolled one, so should it just be
Oh.
14?
14. So yeah. So that's enough to, with the guidance of Ezrin, with that guidance of Valerie, you managed to descend halfway down, so you're like 5 feet down the 10-foot cliff. And so
Ezrin is sweating bullets.
yeah, and I'm assuming Valerie is going to help on the second half of this as well. So make another athletics check to help Ezrin, and then we'll. Yep, 21. That's actually a critical help, so you're going to get a +2 to the roll.
Woo!
So 18 total.
Yep, and with the help of Ezrin, you get down to the bottom, no problem. Good
Oh.
job.
Well done.
Thank you, Valerie.
Yeah, and then everyone else is like Hal's like, wait, nobody helped me.
Sorry.
That's the tutorial for you, right? So now you're at the top, right? The rope is still tied to the stalagmite. So if you want to climb down the rope's gonna be left behind here.
I'm gonna untie the rope.
No,
from this, so
please.
it's okay.
Well, what if we have, Valerie? Question:
Yes.
if we're coming back this way, wouldn't we need to climb up?
Ah, yes. That makes a lot of sense.
So
I'm
maybe
not very
let's-
smart.
I'm fine. I mean, here's the thing: he takes the bottom of the rope because what is that?
It's 50.
It's only
feet.
10-foot cliff, so like barely anything, right?
So 15 feet. So he just cuts 35 feet off the rope and puts it in his back. We'll just leave this here. This could just be. Yeah, this is good to leave it here for anybody.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, you so now leaving the rope in place, you go back, you tie it again. So now, are you going to descend, Valerie?
Yes.
Is anybody helping Valerie from down below?
Yeah, I'll stand up and I'll I'll hold my shield up above my head, and she could put her feet on it, I guess.
Okay. Why don't you give me an athletics check there?
Oh wait, I probably should have done this for someone else who's better at it.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Critical
Natural
success.
20.
Ooh.
Perfect.
Nice.
Critical success. So that's a +2 to your roll, Valerie.
18.
Okay. Valerie manages to descend halfway, not a critical success, so not all the way down, but you descend halfway with the guidance and the knowledge that, you're being helped from below and calling out slippery spots. So you made it halfway. Let's do a second round.
All right, Valerie, you got it. And Kyra walks away.
I was gonna say I might break your hip.
Does anyone else want to step up to help?
Oh boy.
So it's not pretty, right? Your foot slips on a wet patch, and you instantly begin descending down the rope, but just guiding yourself perfect with like the rope and the wet hands, you land with like an ungraceful thud at the bottom of the cliff. A little bit of rope burn, but no injuries. You have succeeded in descending down the cliff. Congratulations, everyone! You made it down the cliff.
You're looking pretty rough, son. Hold on a second.
You all earn 10 experience points for defeating the cliff.
Really?
Yes. So there is
Wow.
more. You earn experience for like completing any kind of obstacles or any sort of challenges, including stuff like cliffs. So it's not worth a lot, but it is still an obstacle that you guys overcame. So it's worth 10 experience for you guys.
All right, so I cast Heal, which is a D8 plus...
Plus 8, right?
Oh, yeah. No, just a D8.
Are you doing it first? One action?
No, I'm doing 3 actions. So I take out my holy symbol, I start praying, and I do some hand movements, and I'm looking at Hal and doing a 30-foot pulse.
So it's not cumulative then? If you do it with 2 actions, you don't get like each level added together.
No, unfortunately
Perfect.
not.
That makes sense. Okay. In my head, I was just kind of like adding the next effect to the previous effect, but reading it, I think you're right. So it's just a D8 to everyone.
Yep. So it's multiple people, and that's why. You mind if I just roll it with my regular dice?
Go ahead. You guys can't see it on our stream, but Jordan he's sharing his screen with us and has a dice tray with the actual dice. So.
Because I don't like digital dice. You got 5 HP back, Alan. So did I.
Thank you.
All right, so 5 to everyone, but you guys are the only 2 that are hurt. So as you guys finish getting down the cliff and you do this spell, your eye, like Valerie, your eyes like turn to the north with your sword glowing up, and you can see up ahead there seems to be a cavern that is dimly lit by fungus like lining the walls, and the only thing you can see in that cavern is webs all over.
Oh, that's not good.
And as you guys turn your attention north, I think we're going to take a quick break. We're not going to take a long break. We're going to come back. So it's 8:52 right now. Let's come back in 8 minutes. Let's come back at 9 o'clock on the dot and keep going. So that way we can just take a little bit of break to get something to drink, go to the bathroom, stuff like that. So those of you guys that are watching our stream live, by the way, Heisenberg really got a kick out of you guys falling. Gotta say. So, hey there, Heisenberg. So yeah, let's take a quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes, and don't go anywhere. Be right back.
Why don't they have deodorant as this item? I'm very disturbed by this.
Well, because all you need
Gotta
is
mix
soap.
your soap with something else.
Yeah, with potpourri.
During our downtime, we were looking at our inventory, and the question came up like, "Why is soap an object in your inventory?" And Jordan's very adamant. Well, to clean yourself, duh.
Yeah, I don't see what the problem is, guys.
I don't remember soap being in Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, it's
So-
because everyone on smells.
Are you
Everyone's
saying you have your personal prestidigitation?
Yeah, it's called soap.
Yep.
So it's like a magic item that cleans yourself. Wow.
Yeah.
Think of the implications to society with soap being standard gear.
Yeah, most people should. I mean, if for real life, more people should use it.
Well, I think we've now officially found the menace under Otari. It was the slit cliff.
Oh, I thought it was the soap.
It was covered in soap.
It was covered in soap.
That's why it was so slippery.
Yeah. That's definitely what it was. But the cliff, I do like that, like they give you a little bit of experience. Hey, you beat this thing, 10 experience. So the question came up during the break. Can they just climb the cliff until they level up? And the answer is no. No, you cannot.
It's not the
Although-
bridge from Barovia.
Yeah, it's not the bridge from Barovia. I think you only get experience the first time you beat a challenge. Otherwise, now you've conquered it, you don't earn. Like, I guess in that same vein, if you kill like a giant rat and then use heal to bring it back to life and then kill it again, do you get double the experience?
No.
I don't know. So anyways, we are pushing forward with our group. You guys have managed to defeat the cliff. Congratulations. Just when you guys are high-fiving each other and you guys are like ready to declare yourselves victors, Valerie notices this large spiderweb infested cavern that is dimly lit by some kind of like blue fungus all along the walls. And that seems to be the next room in your dungeon journey. So, what would you guys like to do?
Ezrin will slowly forge ahead.
Ezrin. There's cobwebs everywhere. Might I suggest that we have our Valerie go first? She seems to be quite proficient at killing things.
So, also to point out, like, the game moves between these phases, like exploration, combat, stuff like that. So, when you guys are, like, in the exploration phase, it opens up, like, new sort of actions you guys can do, which are kind of called out on the skills tab, the
Sorry.
skills screen. But there is, let me just see. I don't remember which screen it was, but there's like a screen that talks about things you can do during like exploration phase. Like one person can say, I'm scouting ahead. The next person can say, I'm looking for secrets, stuff like that. Has anyone seen which handout that's in? I think it's under playing the game. So there's a section called like exploration, right? So some of the things you can do as you're traveling, and you guys can tell me which one best fits what you guys are doing, or maybe different characters are doing different things. You can avoid notice, which means you're trying to move at half your speed to avoid anyone noticing you, which is basically like a stealth check. You can defend yourself, which means you're kind of walking at half speed, but you've got like your shield raised, you're ready for like combat, and you basically start combat with your shield raised, if that's the case.
I'm gonna be detecting magic.
Okay, yeah, detect magic. So if you have the detect magic cantrip, you're basically casting it, and it's pulsing out of you, and you're just looking for anything magical. So detect magic here is a cantrip instead of like a first level spell or a ritual. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't tell you; it just tells you the presence of magic, not necessarily. I don't think it gives you necessarily like the school of magic or anything like that. But I could be wrong. You could look at what it says. Hustle allows you to move yourself at double speed. and you can do that for a limited number of time based on your constitution. Investigate, you're moving at half speed, but you're looking at everything around yourself, trying to see if there's any kind of clues you can find that might relate to what you're seeing. Scout allows you to scout ahead of the rest of the group. You're looking for danger, and if you scout ahead, you're kind of putting yourself in possible danger, but if you successfully scout ahead without being noticed, you give everyone like a +1 to their initiative roll. Search is kind of like, instead of looking for things you can understand, you're looking for secret passages, secret doors, maybe like levers, stuff like that. And sense direction, just try to follow direction. It doesn't really apply in the dungeon, but tracking, you guys can look for creatures' tracks and try to track them. So based on those kind of groupings that they give, how do you guys feel like your characters are proceeding into this next room?
If Cairo is going to be doing a detect magic, then Ezrin's probably going to be investigating.
Okay. So, Ezrin's doing the detect magic. Cairo, why don't you go ahead and give me just an a recall knowledge, and you choose like what sort of knowledge you're looking for. Are you looking like a nature stuff? Are you looking for magical stuff, etc.? You choose what sort of knowledge you're trying to recall during your investigation. What about Valerie and Hal?
I'm gonna look back to Hal and say, "Oh, Hal, didn't you mention that you saw, like lizard tracks while we were at the room earlier?"
Yes, that is correct.
Should we maybe check if they go on forward from this point on?
Yes. Let me move forward and see.
Okay. Do you have tracking as like a trained skill? Like, are you trained?
Is
it under survival?
Yeah, I think tracking is, if you're trained in survival, then you're trained in tracking.
Yes, I am.
Tracking. So under, let's just check. So survival, track is a trained action for survival. So yeah, anyone that's trained in survival can track something.
that's T3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that means you're trained, and T3 would mean you'd have +3 to the roll, I think. Plus whatever your basic thing is. So do you guys want to both combine to track the creatures, or is one of you doing that and the other one doing something else?
I could say, Hal, while you track, I could go on ahead and scout. I'll call for everyone in the back if I see any danger.
All right. Be careful.
Okay. So that would mean Valerie, give me a stealth roll, and Hal, give me a survival tracking.
This feels like it should have been done opposite.
Stealthy one, you track. I'll
I
scout.
know. She's very dumb. Not dumb. She doesn't have wisdom.
Okay.
Oh boy.
She's gonna move up on her own, and Cairo's just gonna follow behind her. He's not gonna let her go by herself.
Yeah, I mean you're moving up, and you're kind of moving at half speed. You're concentrating on your detect magic, so everything you're doing is just like really concentrating on this detect magic. You're not unaware of your surroundings, but yeah, you're hustling up behind. But in order to do the scout ahead, she has to disengage from you guys and scout ahead. That's what scout actually does.
But also, like, it's a concentration, and I move half my speed.
I think the whole group is kind of doing like a half speed action or so.
Okay,
right?
okay.
Yeah. So Valerie moves up into the room, lit up, right? The spider
so
webs light up.
far.
It does sort of make. Yeah.
The one with the blinding bright sword is sneaking.
Yes, that is very true. So Valerie scouts ahead. I will say with a 9 stealth, your scout is unsuccessful. So like if there is a combat that breaks out, you do not get the +1 bonus. With a 9 or with a 12 survival, there are definitely tracks around here, but there's so many of them and going so many directions. You're having a hard time making heads or tail of it. But the one thing you're sure is something came from that tunnel and something went back to that tunnel. But as far as numbers or which direction they went, or if there's like some secret passage they went to, it looks like it leads into this spider web chamber, and then that's it. That's all you get. So you're following the tracks correctly, but there's only one way to go anyways. And Ezrin, as you're using your sort of like recall knowledge based on nature, this room, the formation of these webs and the region you're in and the climate, you're 99% sure you are in the like a lair of like an Otari giant spider which live in the region, which are definitely predatory and definitely, very protective of their lairs. And you know that if a single person in your group makes contact with a web, then the spider will like know your presence is here. So Cairo and Ezrin are standing on webs currently. So you might want to stop them before they do that.
Oh boy.
Ezra's gonna take a step back from the web once she realizes,
Pull
boy.
old man's not paying attention. Please pull him off the webbing.
Ezrin's also gonna reach over and like gently tug Cairo. This boy is here.
Yes, dear. What is it?
Spiders. Spiders.
Definitely. Yeah. What the nature like. Obviously, this is a spider tunnel and spider webs, but you're pretty sure it's active. This isn't like an old spider web that like somebody's cleared out the lair and it's just set over time. There's an active spider somewhere in this lair.
I stopped detecting magic.
Yeah. So now we're kind of at the point where you guys are in this sort of chamber. The webs are like all over, up in the ceiling. You're casting shadows with your torch. Let me see. I don't think I read. So this tunnel continues deeper underground, eventually opening into a large chamber. Patches of glowing blue fungus cling to the ceiling and provide a dim light. You can just barely make out the vast strands of webbing across the floors and walls of this cavern, stretching between stalactites like shimmering curtains. So, if you guys want to get through this chamber without alerting the spider that you're pretty sure lives here, Ezrin, it's going to take some careful avoidance. And that would be either very deftly stepping through the webs without triggering them, or as you like look at the room, you notice that there's like almost like shelving or like little like rocks along the edge. Somebody could climb up and maybe try to like skirt along the edge of the chamber without falling off, and you might be able to get around the webs that way. But in order to get through the webs, you're going to have to find some plan to get through. Or, you also learn in your extensive knowledge that webs are very flammable.
So, does anyone have any sort of fire?
Oh yes. I never leave home without it.
Or maybe one of you dexterous types could run around.
What was that, Hal? I couldn't hear you.
Wouldn't you light it on fire? It would be the same as pulling on it.
Right, but maybe the fire would stop whatever a large spider would come, or we just piss it off. I don't know. I'm not very dexterous. We can try, and then I'll just I take out a torch and a flint and steel, and I light the torch.
Yeah, as you're getting that would mean you have to put away your shield and your weapon to do that, right?
Yep. And then I'll take once I have the torch lit, then I will say, does anyone want to hold this, or should I?
So while Cairo's doing that, let me just have everyone give me like an active perception check, because you're pretty sure there's a spider somewhere. So I'm assuming you guys are looking for it. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're all glancing around the room. You're like looking up at the ceiling. There's a bit of a breeze that blows through and the webs kind of flutter. But everyone's looking around, and nobody sees any sign of this spider.
Ezrin, would you mind carrying the torch?
I know the spider's here.
I believe you, dear. Would you like to carry the torch? In case it comes, you can set fire to the webbing and maybe hurt it or impede its movement.
Ezrin reluctantly takes the torch.
Thank you, dear. And I take out my scimitar and my shield.
You get your shield back on your scimitar. Ezrin, you're holding the torch, so this torch gives you light. So let me put the light on your token. It's the same as the light cantrip, I believe. So 40, 20.
Remember all, Cairo gives light the same way Saren Ray does.
So the torch, you don't add a lot of light because Valerie's already kind of lighting up, but Valerie's standing there with the light looking around like, all clear, guys!
Please, Valerie, not so loud.
I don't see anything. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah, so Ezrin, you walk into the chamber holding like the flame. What would you like to do?
Al, should we climb around? How do you want to handle this?
I thought we were going to burn the webs.
Right. Well, I mean, you know what?
If we can't burn them, we can't step in them.
This is
Wait,
true.
if we can burn them, we don't have to step on them.
Yes. I mean, I got what you meant the first time, but yes, you are correct.
So we'll light the web on fire.
What do you think, Valerie?
I don't think I'm the right person to ask, but I think that if we let the dexterous people try and climb over the webs, then the less dexterous people might be stuck. Unless the plan is to cut through the webs, and if we do that, then the spider will be alerted as well. So I think burning it is the best course of action.
That's a good point.
Burn it.
So as you guys are having this conversation, like you are sitting here, and then there's like a slight drip that hits you in the head, Ezrin.
Oh
And,
no!
and you look up and you see like descending from the ceiling down at you with its fangs like wide open and poison dripping from it. A giant spider descending from the darkness and the web clusters above. And that's where I need everyone to roll initiative. Now, the one thing I would say here, Hal, since you're... I don't know if you're like trying to hide, and if you think you're trying to stay back and hide out of sight, you can give me a stealth initiative roll. Otherwise, everyone's going to give me the perception initiative roll.
I'm trying to stay out of the light. That's kind of my forte.
Sure. So I would be fine with you since you're staying back. You can give me a stealth roll if it's better for you. The spider, by the way, got a 25 on his stealth check.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty high stealth check. And the spider's getting a stealth initiative on you guys because it is hiding. So Valerie, Ezrin, so Hal.
Looks like we're missing.
Did you just click stealth and not like initiative with stealth?
I don't know what that is.
So like if you look at like your character sheet, right?
Yep.
And you see where it
I
says
see what you mean.
initiative. You can like toggle the drop down to stealth and click that, and it'll do it next time.
Got it.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay. So. Oh wait.
I think his is a 16 actually.
Right. Yeah, it was a 16, so you can override that. Okay. So, descending down before anyone has a chance to react with his 26 stealth initiative. Second, I haven't. Is grapple not a standard skill? Anyways, what the spider does is as
It's
it
under
bites
athletics.
you. What's that?
It's under athletics.
Yeah. So you go limp, right? You're unconscious. The spider bites you. You fall limp, and then it uses this third action to like literally like scoop up your body and like clutch it. It's going to like grapple you, and I think you fail because there's no way you can fight back.
Dead.
Dying, not dead. Okay, and that's the spider's turn. Halrysian.
All right. I'd like to stride up here.
You do beat its perception. So you are able to stride up unknowingly, and you grab like Ezrin away from the spider.
Yes.
I will give you a +1 circumstance bonus since it's not aware of you. I don't know if there's a rule for this that you know. Do you know? I'm just gonna give you the +1 bonus because it makes. I feel like you should get some advantage for sneaking and like snatching. So you're gonna give me an athletics check to snatch Ezrin away from the spider. Actually, is there a rule about this in the?
So, I am a subtle thief. Enemies are less likely to detect me when I steal. I'm not sure if this applies. Others take a -2 to their perception when you steal.
I will totally allow that. That sounds cool.
You can steal something. If you create a diversion, you can steal something before the end of your turn without being seen by the creature you diverted. I'll have to figure out how diversion works.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
So yeah.
So it said athletics.
I feel like I can't let you use like the dexterity here because it grappled. So yeah.
Yep.
It's basically like kind of like taking the escape action or something, I guess.
Gotcha.
On someone else with whatever bonus you get for your thievery. So.
18.
Damn.
That's enough. So you go, it's grabbing like Ezrin, and you run up, you sneak up, and then you're using the thing, you like snatch it and yank it back, and Ezrin is now like in your clutches.
Can I move Ezrin away?
Okay. So, I guess my default is to go back to like 5e, drag something at half speed thing. I don't know if there's better rules. But you pull Ezrin back away from the spider, no problem. That was 3 actions, right?
Yeah. I want to put it next to Cairo.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
All right, Valerie.
Seeing what happened, I will immediately pull out my longsword and attack the creature.
Oh, I hope you had that already, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to see.
Yeah, you got it. You got it out.
Oh, you're right. I'm doing that.
Yep. Make your first attack. 19 to hit. That hits.
11 damage.
It's not a crit. So 11 points of damage. Are you doing slashing or piercing damage to the spider?
Slashing. I'm gonna aim for its legs.
Okay. Yeah, you do like a big slash and you watch as like it cuts like some of this web the legs and they kind of like hang limp and you see like some kind of like black ichorous blood start oozing from his legs. Still alive, but looks pretty hurt.
And I will do another one.
Okay.
Boob.
Second one misses.
Alright, and then I will raise my shield.
Okay. Raising your shield to get that +2 AC. Perfect. Cairo.
Cairo is going to heal as a second level action. So, that's it there.
Okay.
And I'll roll 2d8.
Is it 2d8 or d8 + 8?
Oh, right, a d8 + 8. So that's 14 points back.
That's almost all.
Corner, you kind of find what seems to be its like main lair and nest, which is the most thick. It's coated the thickest in the webbing, and as you burn it down, you do find some stuff. So let's see. You find okay. Because you're taking the time, you burn everything down. I'm not going to make you do the perception check. You find a small bundle that you go to light, but you can see as you're about to light it, it looks like something in a cocoon, like a small child-sized figure in a cocoon.
Oh, Lord. Lord Sandray, please let this not be a child.
Should we try and pry it open?
Yeah, who's got a dagger?
I have a dagger.
I'll cover you.
So describe to me what you kind of like go down and like how do you open this thing? Like what does it look like? Are you just tearing into it? Are you being very careful with it?
Yes, with a possibility that it might be a child, I'll try. Like when you open a gift, you find like a small gap initially, and then
Right.
I'll start cutting from there, like an opening.
Okay. You start cutting,
Carefully.
and the first thing like cuts open, you see like a lizard-like eye staring back at you.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, it's not a child. It's not a child.
Definitely not a child.
It's not a child, Mr. Cairo.
And then as you cut a little more, you see like scales around it, and
Probably leave it. Are the eyes moving?
no, it looks completely dead.
Oh, it's dead.
The eyes are like open and glassy. There's no life in it. It's a dead, scaly creature. Yeah, and as you like kind of go down, there's like a lot of bones, a lot of dried skin. You can see that it's been like kind of like killed here and wrapped and left for a later meal. But on its hip, it has a small like pouch, and hanging from its hip, it has what appears to be a very fine-looking short sword.
Oh, my.
The short sword has a nice emerald set in the pommel.
Oh, let me, actually.
Sure.
Yep. So you can hand over you to the sword, and you can add to your character sheet short sword with emerald.
Oh, I was going to check if it was magical.
It's
I
not
might
magical.
Be the best.
Yeah, you use the detect magic. It's not magical, but it definitely looks like the emerald makes it worth a decent amount as like a treasure. You could, it's worth like 5 gold if you were to sell it.
As a man of the cloth, as some might say, I will hold this in trust for the group. We can sell it afterwards, unless someone wants it to, stab things with.
I agree. I have no complaints on that. I'll go ahead and grab this pouch if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's like a little like leathery pouch, and you grab it off its hip, and you can feel like something kind of hefty in there. And you open and peer inside, and it looks like a small potion. It's a healing potion. Tutorial pops up. Did you know that you can drink healing potions to restore your health? Simply open your inventory, click healing potion to restore 1d8 hit points when consumed.
Some of our less sturdy comrades could probably use this.
Ezrin?
You also all get 40 experience for defeating the spider.
Ooh.
Also looks at Ezrin also looks at Hal.
Way back in the hallway.
It said 40 HP or XP?
40 XP, yeah, 40.
Okay.
I'm
How
not
we
sure
might
what
have
you're
found-
looking at me for,
Oh,
but you go ahead and keep it, Ezra. I wrestled you from the spider's grasp.
That's quite kind of you.
Yep, and you guys appear to now have cleared it out, but like the other thing too, like you saw reptilian scaly footprints back in the basement, and looking at this thing seems to match. And let me just see.
This is actually a great sword if someone wants to use it. It's agile, it's finesse, so you can use your dexterity modifier, and it's versatile.
Does it radiate magic?
No. Do you have one already?
I do. And I gesture to my left hip. Indeed, I do, right here.
Well then.
It looks something like this.
Oh, look at that thing.
Oh,
I know, it's very cute.
Yep. So they are very obvious to you guys, adventurers. These are kobolds. So with the chamber cleared out, the spider threat is gone. You can see there is like a chamber, like it leads out towards the left, and it looks like the footprints lead that direction.
Let's carry on.
Okay. Yep, moving on to like the next sort of room. You can go ahead and move your tokens up to the next sort of intersection. So here, after the web-infested cave, the passageway leading deeper underneath the streets of Otari appears to be mostly natural, but someone, or something, has worked to open the cavern and level out the floor, making this passage easily traveled. A crude barricade made from some old wooden planks and part of a barrel blocks the entrance to a side tunnel, while the main passageway continues off into the gloom.
That's to the northeast here, this little like barricade.
Yeah, this is like a little side shoot off, and the little like tunnel, the sort of like area seems to be barricaded with barrels and planks of wood.
Well then, should we break this down, or... Well, actually, if something's coming to eat the fish, it was either the spider or the rats, or both. And probably nothing that came from that direction. Actually, give me 10 minutes. Oh, it's not 10 minutes. It's just
It's
two
just
actions.
Yeah. So you send out a pulse, 30 foot, looking for magic. Nothing magical.
My God above, Sarenrae, has told me that there is nothing magical beyond the barrier. We should continue on. If anyone wants to hear about Sarenrae,
No.
I can read from my book.
I'll take point since I have the light on.
Yeah. Actually, Cairo, as you're up there doing that detect magic thing, also give me a perception check.
Yes, sir. Oh, I love digital dice, y'all.
Yeah. You don't sense or hear anything. Like you're kind of like listening out into the darkness because it goes off and it looks. You can tell it like dips down quite a bit, and whatever goes that way was like a smaller tunnel that seems to be dug out. But you don't hear or see anything or smell anything coming from that direction. It just seems like a weird tunnel.
Sounds good.
Okay. So you guys want to go down south?
Hallerson, what is your opinion on what we've gone through so far?
Well, considering we've only come like, this is about 50 feet. We've seen a spider and a dead lizard man and a barricade. They're either keeping something out or keeping something in, but I'd like to follow the strong lady with the light on her sword. Whichever way she goes, I stand in the back.
That's actually very smart. I totally understand. Let's continue.
So Valerie, you're gonna go down that tunnel the same where your token is?
Yes.
Okay. And are we doing the same sort of exploration activities we were doing before, like a detect magic from Cairo and a scout ahead from Valerie and a tracking from Halrizian and what was Ezrin doing? Oh, trying to see if there's anything you investigate that you can understand. Yeah. Are we doing the same thing, or you guys want to change it up?
Well, I failed my scouting earlier since I'm not very stealthy.
And
We
you're
might
bright.
want to, we might want to send Hal up for that.
The big issue too is like how like you look up ahead where it's in pitch black and like unless you have some sort of light source, you're not gonna be able to see or do much either.
Oh, we're all screwed.
Oh, I could always. I guess I could scout ahead.
Or you can
Could I
just defend.
track?
Yeah, you want
Could
to
I
do
follow
tracking?
the tracks? Yeah.
Yeah, so you can take up tracking. How do you want to track as well, or do you want to take up a different task then?
I'll do the same. I'll do the same thing.
Okay, both of you guys give me tracking rolls, survival checks, and give me your investigation check for Ezrin.
I'm gonna search.
Okay, so you can give me the perception check, I think, for searching.
Nice.
Gotta have a good one every once in a while.
Okay.
I think you're just giving me your bad rolls.
I'm sorry.
So Ezrin, you're not seeing much as you descend into this like tunnel. You're not seeing much. You're having a hard time understanding what might have made these tunnels, if they're man-made, natural. It's a very weird. It looks like a mixture of both. Kyra, you're looking for any sort of like secret passages. Up ahead, you don't. It's not a secret passage, but there is a ledge that looks pretty high up. And I'll get to that in a second. But as you're kind of coming down this tunnel that continues like upwards, or yeah, I guess it would be like upwards a little bit. You do notice like there seems to be a slightly hard to notice ledge that somebody could climb up to. And then for Hal, you're having trouble finding any tracks, but Valerie, you have no problem finding tracks that are heading in this direction. And you're pretty sure, based on this sort of things and these tracks being a little fresher, it looks to be about 4 creatures. 4 of these small, scaly footprints. Probably
Is this
related to the kobolds.
Is this the ledge here that I'm standing next to?
No, it's actually further up.
Okay, then we should move up because
Yeah, you can move up some. So
yeah, because
yeah, you
we
move
can't
up.
see without Valerie and Ezrin.
That's a good point. So yeah, go ahead and move your tokens up this way. As you're moving up, you're going to notice this first. That
You're at?
so, right when you get to about here, up above, about 10 feet up, it's kind of hard to notice from where you guys are. But if someone could climb up that 10-foot ledge, there seems to be like a possible ledge up that way that might lead to something. It's too high to see. Like your tokens can see that there's a door at the top, but like you can't because it's too high up.
There's clearly a ledge up there, Valerie, and I am super impressed with your 10-foot vertical leap, but we should probably set up a rope of some kind.
Yes, I agree.
The problem is you need somebody to get to the top to set the rope to help you guys up, right?
This is why in Pathfinder they have something called a grappling hook.
That's true. Does anyone have a grappling hook?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
Pro tip, open your inventory and check for a grappling hook.
Negative.
You mean one of these? And I swing my rope around a little bit with a grappling hook at the end.
Oh, that's
Oh,
amazing.
nice.
But you're way over there, Hal, so we can't use it from over there.
Are there rules around grappling hooks?
You cannot see me, but you can hear me.
Oh, wow, you're very stealthy.
Throwing a grappling hook requires a ranged attack roll. Yeah. So, you want to try to throw the grappling hook up, Al?
Yes, let's do that.
So you take it out, you attach it to the rope, right, and you do the little swing thing. Just make a... I guess it's just a... It's a ranged attack roll, treating it as a thrown weapon, so... I guess just add your dexterity. I don't think you're trained. Are you trained in grappling hooks? I don't know.
He's trained in throwing weapons, isn't he?
Then, yeah, then go ahead and use it.
I don't know, but I will try.
Let's just make an attack roll.
I will throw my dagger.
Oh my god.
Natural.
Another
Oh, God.
natural one.
So it clangs. So because there's no time limit and you can do it over and over again, it takes you so long. I think we're looking at like 5 attempts before it actually catches on something, and everyone is just watching in like silence as you just like try it over and over and over, and then finally, when everyone's given up hope that it's gonna work, it connects up on something. Like it catches a stalagmite up top, and it gives you a nice secure thing. So now you're pretty sure you can climb up it.
Kiro puts his sword and his shield down and just does a little golf clap.
I move the light over here. No, a little over to the left, more to the right. Okay, on your tippy toes.
Well, let's do the second most dangerous thing that we've done so far. Let's climb up this 10-foot cliff.
Yep.
Wow.
This one's it's not as like slick and stuff. So climbing up, I don't know if that's more or less dangerous than climbing down. But who's gonna go first?
Probably you, Val, because you can help
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Okay, Val, give me your athletics check. Is anyone helping Val?
I will use
I will give her a
my
boost.
my assurance feat
Ooh,
Ooh.
to
just
roll a 13 instead.
perfect. So 13 is enough to traverse this without issue. So you make it look easy. You get the
Hey,
little
there
boost.
you go.
Right to the top. No problem.
She
You
is
could have used that earlier.
quite strong.
I know. I didn't know, but
I
now I
forgot how
do.
to climb. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so Valerie, up the rope to the top, no problem.
And it's a good thing that Ezrin has a torch now, because otherwise she would have had to put her sword away, and then she would have been climbing in just complete darkness.
Who's going up next?
I will help.
Okay. Give me an athletics check to help.
I guess I will go next.
And Valerie, when you get to the top, you can see there's definitely a set of double doors here. Like very
So it is
heavy
okay?
stone doors.
I don't see anything, but
All right.
Valerie, are you trying to walk through a solid door?
I climbed up.
So like from where here, right? This right here is the ledge you climbed up. So you climb from
Oh.
here up, and now you can see the double doors right here.
Oh, there's a stone door.
Yeah. So Valerie, give me your athletics check to help, and then we'll see if you help or hinder the person. 16. That's enough to help. So +1 to Hal's roll.
Very nice.
Make it look so easy.
I didn't need my help at all.
You reach down, and he climbs up over your arm and like over your head, and like makes it look graceful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you
You're
managed to
very
squeeze,
light-footed.
squeeze up here, and it's starting to get a little crowded, but you got room to squeeze. Everyone will become best friends.
Ezra and Dare, you should go next. I can watch, make sure we don't get flanked.
Oh,
Valerie?
all right.
Athletics to help. +2 to your roll for Ezrin.
Very cool. Don't
With the
really
18?
need it. I don't think so.
18 bumps it to 20, which makes it a critical success, which means you make it up with one roll.
Very cool.
All right.
So now it's
There we
getting really
go.
crowded up here. Like Ezrin's squished against one wall, Hal's squished against the other wall. You know, Valerie's in the middle.
Kairos is looking up there, and there's not much darkness, or there's a lot of darkness down here because they've got all the light sources. Actually, would you mind checking the door? Like, maybe we can't get it open, and I don't have to hurt myself climbing.
Oh, I also lied. It's not stone. It looks like stone on the map, but they call it out as being a rotting wooden door.
Oh,
I'll call
Okay,
that out.
I will
to go downstairs.
look
the other-
around and check for what rogues do.
while Hal's being a badass rogue, Val, can you help me up?
Of course.
Yeah, go
Thank
ahead and
you.
make those rolls, guys. Let's check the skills thing. How does looking for traps work?
That's a natural 20 there, Steve.
You guys make this look easy. You guys are like masters of the cliffs now.
Up we go.
Let's see. I don't see anything specifically about like looking for traps or anything. Do you see anything on your character sheet about it?
I think it'd be under skills.
Yeah, I'm looking at the skill list and I'm not seeing anything. Whatever it is, you take a look and
It's a perception check.
just a straight perception check.
Thievery.
Yeah, or thievery, right? Probably perception. Let's start with let's do a perception.
24.
It's old, it's rotting, it's
Oh.
definitely not trapped.
Everything looks good except for it's very old.
Let's go through.
Okay. You push open the doors and the hinges
Oh,
creak loudly
Shit.
as you you open into this chamber. And
Wait, Val, please hold on. The moment Cairo sees this, he's going to immediately start praying and try and recall religion knowledge.
Yeah, give me a religion check. So I'll read what the room looks like while you're making that religion check. It says, the ancient wooden door creaks open on rusty hinges, revealing a ruined chamber. Mold and rot stain every surface. On the far side of the room is a stone statue of a giant squid, its tentacles reaching toward an altar in the center of the chamber. The scum covers almost everything, but it hasn't touched the silver bowl sitting atop the stone altar. The water in the bowl is perfectly clear. And with your 19 religion roll, you can identify that this shrine is actually dedicated to Gozreh, the god of nature and the fury of the ocean.
Oh. So, everybody, say hi to Gozreh, god of nature and fury of the ocean. Usually a neutral god, I believe. I am kind of guessing here. I'm not very familiar. But it's interesting to find a shrine like this here. Very interesting.
It's true.
Can I do a quick detect magic?
Yep. You like subtly do your little detect magic thing, or I don't know if subtly, but like you ping out. Definitely the presence of magic in this room.
Okay.
Valerie, you may move forward, but I would not touch anything as of yet.
All right, I'll just grab my sword and my shield back.
Mm-hmm.
I'll move forward.
Yep. Yeah, you stride into the chamber like on edge, ready for something to happen, but like it doesn't. Like nothing seems to happen. There's just you can feel like the floor like slick with like a thin layer of like slime and mold, and this chamber looks to have been abandoned for quite some time. And you like leave footprints in it as you walk, disturbing the kind of moss slimy floor. And it looks like other than this like round chamber with the altar to Gozreh on one side and this kind of like altar in the middle with this very nice looking bowl of clear water, that seems to be like the extent of what you see in here.
So strange.
I'd like to move forward a bit
Sure.
towards the altar.
Yeah.
And check for traps, tripwires, secret compartments on the altar. Just
Yeah. Why don't you give me either probably a perception if you're like looking for traps, or like investigation if you're looking for secret compartments and stuff. But there's no time sensitivity here, so you can give me both. You're looking for traps of some sort, like some sort of like pressure plate under the bowl, anything that triggers tripwires, all the bag of tricks you're used to. And as you look around, you see nothing that looks trapped to you.
Okay, it looks good. Maybe there are some secret compartments. I don't know. That is not my forte nor my purview.
Nor is it mine, to be completely honest.
I will say that water looks very refreshing, Hal.
I've had some water when I was in hell, and it's made me dumb for a long time.
Oh man,
Ugh.
that was funny.
That's true. It was one session. All right. So it doesn't look trapped. The bowl, I mean, I will say, even if you don't want to drink the water, the bowl looks pretty valuable.
I would caution against taking the bowl.
Otherwise, what else do you guys want to do?
Is there anything around the room not covered in moss?
Give me an active perception check.
I don't see anything.
The only thing you see is the same thing I called out in the box text, which is the altar and the bowl itself. Actually, the altar is even covered in the stuff, but the bowl and the water is completely untouched.
Where do you see how much gold you have on your character?
I don't know.
It's a poor man's game.
Under inventory?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, under inventory it says CPS at the top right. CP, SP, GP.
Oh yeah,
PP.
I've got 1 gold piece. I'm not putting it in the thing.
I don't have investigation, so I'm not sure if I can do it.
It's just perception. There's no investigation.
Yeah, I guess there is no investigation, is there?
It's just a perception roll.
It's all rolled in the perception.
Oops, sorry.
Valerie just it's breakdancing
Tumbles
on,
over the
on
ball.
top of a.
Are you looking for secret compartments, Hal? You said you were going to make an investigation roll.
Well, I don't. That doesn't exist.
It doesn't
No.
exist, so it's all perception.
Yeah, so with that 23, that
It all
That
rolls
would've
into
been-
one, yeah. So we'll just
that
roll
would have
that
been
roll.
everything.
Looking over the whole thing, there doesn't appear to be any secret compartments, any traps, anything other than the tantalizing bull that is now your arch nemesis. And before I forget, why don't you guys all take 10 experience for climbing the cliff?
Ooh,
Woo!
Yay!
we are so cool.
Kara, do you think we should offer something to the bowl? I saw you reach over to your pouch.
Right. I've got a solitary gold piece left. I've got to tell you, preaching the word of Sarenrae doesn't pay all that well, but I wasn't going to give my last gold coin to a god that I do not worship.
I guess
You
one
want-
interesting thing... No, sorry, go ahead, good.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, one of the things that's under the skills I'm looking at under, Arcana is, like, Identify Magic.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
So you
Wizards can
could
do
try,
that.
now that you know that's magical, right? One of you guys could try to, like, ascertain the nature of the magic.
That'd be an Arcana check.
I
Yes.
could do an Arcana check.
It's going to take you 10 minutes of time to, like, concentrate on this and try to understand it. So why don't you give me your Identify Magic trained roll. So it'd be Arcana.
Okay. 25.
Holy
nice.
crap.
Nice. Very nice.
Okay, so as you try to, like, understand the magic of this item, you kind of, like, dip into the magical nature that's, like, tying it together and constantly referring to your notes in your book. Yeah, so the magic doesn't quite have a name. However, you're pretty sure that the bowl itself is magical, and the magic is tied to this altar into this room. So if you were to take the bowl away from this room, it would lose its magic. But while it's here in this room, all one has to do is to drink it to regain hit points.
Oh.
But there's more than that, because you got the critical success. You see the catch, which is it also forces, like, Gozreh will force his power into you, and if you are worthy of accepting his power by making a fortitude save, then you get his power within you, and you can basically use that to surge the power of the ocean, which allows you to turn a critical hit against you into a normal hit.
Oh.
Oh.
However, if you fail, it will make you sick, and you will take a -1 penalty to everything you do for an hour.
Yikes.
And there's no limit. Or a creature can only benefit from drinking once a day.
That's. Do you want to explain that, Ezrin, or do we
Quite
just
a
hear
big
that?
critical success that you learned everything about this object.
Ezrin relates that. So, like, if you wanna be one with Gozreh, you can try and take a sip out of the bowl,
The water?
the water, and I hope you have some good fortitude. Otherwise, it's quite nasty.
Oh, is it worth it though?
I have no idea.
She's probably pertaining to the power of Gozreh, which is tied to the incredible ferocity of the waves themselves. but you would need to have great fortitude. That looks like you, Val.
I don't. Sure.
What's your fortitude saving throw?
I'm an E7.
Nice. I'm an E6.
I don't know what that means.
That's your bonus.
So
It means
7 plus 7.
you're an expert in that saving throw, and you've got a +6.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Whereas T is trained.
Mm-hmm. That's where we get into like there's different levels of being trained, so you can be really good at something or just sort of good at it, or like amazing at it.
All right. So I do have a proposition. If I do succeed in drinking this water and find myself sturdier, I have no qualms in always being in the front. But if I do get, like evil or something, just let me know, because I honestly wouldn't be aware myself.
I'm fairly certain it's just sickened.
Okay, I don't know that. All right, let's drink this water. Hello, Gozreh.
All right, sorry, go ahead. You go to the altar and you like pick up the bowl and you lift it to your lips, and the most refreshing, cool water kind of like goes through you, and is like a super cold sensation running down your throat, and you can feel almost like a wave crashing from inside of you, and you can feel this surge of energy coming. So first of all, you heal 1d8 hit points, but you're at full health, so it doesn't actually do anything. But you heal 8. Congratulations.
Cool.
And now can you make the fortitude saving throw?
Kyra leans over to. Oh, amazing!
Ooh.
And that like crashing wave comes to the inside of you, and you manage to like control it and harness it, and you just feel like stronger, and you can just feel like Gozreh is here with you, kind of like enforcing you. So now you can mark that you have the effects of Gozreh's magic, which means the next time someone crits you, you can turn it into a regular attack.
That's amazing.
Within the next hour, so you have 1 hour timer on this thing.
Should we
Sentinel.
Should we go now? Or Ezrin, do you want to try? I know you're still not 100%.
Not gonna be honest with you, mate. Not too keen on that.
Well, here's the thing. I can use my medicine and my healer's kit and try and heal you up a little bit, but it'll take 10 minutes.
I'll be fine.
Yes, tell that to the spider. All right, let's go.
You've got like 2 puncture wounds in your neck where that spider like got you really bad. That was a freaking hard hit.
Yep.
Okay. So then you want to press on? Is anyone else
Let's
gonna
go.
drink? Okay. Yeah, so you basically you turn away from the altar to go back, and we see you guys kind of like leave here, and the last shot we see is like the shot there's on the bowl and the altar. Oh, by the way, are you taking the bowl or are you leaving it here?
Oh, Ezrin said if we leave it, if we take it, it'll lose its power. So
Right, but it is worth 5 gold.
Oh, I'm not the greedy sort.
Okay. So you leave the bowl here, right? So unless someone's going to tell me otherwise, the bowl is going to be sitting here on the altar.
Kyra's gonna stand at the doorway and look inside, judging.
Anyone want to pilfer it? Everyone's
Nope.
eyes turn to Hal, the rogue. He like switches it with a replica.
How
Yeah,
did you
so-
have a bowl that looked exactly the same, Hal?
Preparation.
Well,
yeah,
you ate all the stuff from the ceramic at the tavern. They had the only
Oh, yeah, the
stuff they
fish.
had left.
Was the bowl?
I love
Silver
I
bowls.
love fried fish. Oh, it's amazing.
Okay, so the last shot we get is this bowl being left on the altar, the clear water still here, and you guys like leave the chamber. Nobody takes it. It's just sitting here. The door like closes and the whole room like kind of like goes back to like dark, and we hear like the skittering of like feet, and a slight laughter echoing through the caves as credits roll on our first episode of whatever we're calling this show.
Oh, was there someone behind the statue or something? Oh, that's so cool.
No, there actually wasn't. You guys did a pretty good, thorough thing. I just wanted to give it a kind of like sense of something creepily going on.
Oh, I bet the statue's arms of the squid were moving as we left.
Yeah,
As we
but it was
closed
dark,
the
so you
door.
couldn't see it.
Yes, we couldn't see it, but the camera did.
The camera has night vision. Yep, so that concludes our first sort of session of Pathfinder. We got about like a solid just over 2 hours of actual gameplay in, and got to move through. We got through. This is room 6, but we skipped the one that was up north. It's not like a skip, but we didn't do every room we came across. But we got through like 2 combats and a cool little like discovery room. So, first impressions on this so far. It's like 90% D&D, but like 10% different, right? So what are your first impressions so far?
I like the multiple actions because it kind of lets you strategize a little bit.
Right. Does look pretty cool. Does seem like that's the one thing that really interests me a lot about the system is that 3 action per turn.
Yeah, you're not just mindlessly attacking or doing like a dodge. You kind of really have to think about it.
Right.
Where you leave yourself is just as important for your next round too, because if you put yourself in a good position, you don't have to move at all. You can just take 3 attacks if you want.
Yeah, that too. Also, like I also have to remind myself to raise the shield
That
to
is
increase the AC.
very interesting. I also think it's interesting that it's like the raising the shield is like basically a class feature. Like,
Yep.
like warriors get it, and the cleric you have it, but only because you're a war priest.
Yep.
It's like your subclass of cleric gives you that sort of like shield to kind of like defend yourself.
And the
Wait.
scimitar.
Yeah, the scimitar comes from worshiping Sarenrae.
Yeah, specifically, if I worshipped, I would have gotten a warhammer or a dagger, depending on which god.
Right. And like,
And when I do spiritual weapon, the weapon that shows up is also based on my god.
that's really cool. Like Brianna and Rick, what do you guys think of the 3 action system in combat?
I actually quite like it. I think it makes you it forces you to think about positioning a bit more than it does.
It's like you can always do roguey stuff on your turn no matter what.
It's true.
You can actually move forward sneakily and then and move at the same time. I like that. It's really cool.
That is pretty cool. Unfortunately, your stealth rolls have been really bad. I don't know what's up with that.
Yep.
Maybe you're just not the sneaky kind of rogue. I don't know.
The
What is your-
algorithm wasn't kind with you tonight.
What's your stealth bonus?
Just a +4.
So not the super stealthiest of rogues.
7 is the modifier, so I'm trained but not
Got it.
expert.
Not an
Right.
expert. I see.
Yeah. So train gets you a +3, and then that adds to your modifier.
Your dex is +4. Okay, that's really cool. So that's we're not gonna push any further from here. We're already like over our 3-hour limit. So I had a lot of fun exploring this with you guys. We'll be back next week, next Wednesday from 7 to 10 to continue the next part of this adventure. And I hope you guys out there join us. If you're watching this on YouTube, go over to Twitch, it's DM Steve on Twitch. And by the way, every single one of my players, you better follow my channel.
I already do.
I will hunt you down. And if you're not following me here, if you're watching this on Twitch, go over to YouTube. It's DM Steve on YouTube. And subscribe to us over there. We upload all of our videos that we put on Twitch. We then upload to YouTube. If you're watching streaming on YouTube, you found the channel, push the subscribe button down below. Also, you can find me on Twitter at Steve the DM. And I tweet when we're going live and different events we have coming up. Thank you to Jordan and Brianna and Rick and Nina. I know, Nina, you were a little, not hesitant, but a little scared to come into like a cast of people you don't know. But I hope we made you feel pretty welcome.
No, everyone's super awesome. I love the voices.
By the way, I set you up for a punchline that you did not follow through on Because earlier I told you 3 out of the 4 people were actually nice, and I was expecting you to come back and say, "Oh, who's the one that's not nice?" And I was going to say it was you.
No, it's Steve.
no.
It's Steve. It's definitely Steve with that joke.
I set that joke up hours ago
Definitely.
and we didn't get to follow through. But yes, the 4th one is me. I deal like 16 points of damage and knock you down.
Yeah, that was messed up. Hey, can I ask what the group here and all the audience really wants to know? How much experience points did we get for that room that we just did?
Actually, none.
Yes.
Oh,
What?
Come on.
Yeah.
Even after drinking
We didn't
the
steal
water?
the bowl.
Yeah, there's no monetary reward because there's no real challenge, I guess.
Well, she got a 25.
I know.
What if I got sick?
The stat block does not call out any sort of experience. It actually doesn't even call out experience for climbing the ledge, but I gave you guys that.
Thank you.
Because it was challenging climbing down.
We all rolled like a 20 or above with all the aids, so I feel like
Yeah.
we deserved it.
I feel like it has to be consistent. If you get 10 experience earlier in the adventure, why wouldn't you get 10 experience here?
We're gonna become the best climbers in all of the land.
The best ever.
Nice.
Every single time we climb, we'll just be the best around.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. Take it easy. Until next time. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Wait, we're back. I cut it off before everyone got to say bye. My players really want to say bye to you guys.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Bye. For real this time.
He forces.
Nope.
Also,
No.
the Zena Games. I see your follow. We love you. Come back next Wednesday.
relax and grow.